All right, Shalom Israel. All right, welcome back to class, and we want to say Salaki for starting a few minutes late, but we had to get everything organized. We want to give a shout out to all our brothers and sisters out there that's part of the isbhpk family in Houston, New York, Virginia, Guatemala, London, California, Albuquerque. We want to say shalom to all our brothers and sisters. Also, to any Israelite that's teaching this knowledge of coming back to the Most High in Christ, and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in His commandments, and keeping true judgment and true justice, and it's about righteousness and standing up for righteousness, regardless of the opposition that stands in front of us. We want to say shalom to them too, but also to our new viewers that are there. Our numbers are going up, so that means people are watching. But it doesn't matter the numbers anyway, because what we care about is the understanding of what we're delivering, and hopefully we're edifying the body as well. So we want to say shalom to Israel, all the brothers and sisters out there, shalom. And let's go ahead and get started right away. I know because we're already late. So we're going to start with Genesis chapter 41, verse 25. Let's go ahead and get this right here, because the topic of the class is discreet lives matter. You know, discreet lives matter, not just, you know, all these different blue lives matter, black lives matter. What does the Most High say about discreet lives? Because when we read the Bible, we're going to find out that the Most High has a special identity for those that use His wisdom with discretion, and the Most High has rewards for those that can embrace His wisdom and use it properly and manifest it on earth. So we're going to go ahead and get started and dig into this idea of discretion, because we'll find out the importance of it, how important it is, and why it's necessary for every man, woman, and child to acquire the ability to use discretion at all times. So with that, Mawala, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go Genesis chapter 41, verse 25.
Come. Genesis chapter 41, verse 25 reads, "And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one."
Okay, so we know Joseph was in the dungeon, and he's interpreting the dream for Pharaoh. Read on.
"The Most High power has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do."
All right, so the Most High is using Joseph as a vessel to deliver an understanding and a prophecy to Pharaoh. Read on.
Come. Genesis chapter 41, verse 26 from the top reads, "The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one."
Go ahead.
Verse 27, "And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall 7 years of famine.
Go ahead.
This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh."
Go ahead.
What the Most High is about to do.
He said what the Most High is what?
Is about to do.
Go ahead.
He showed unto Pharaoh, "Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine."
So
following.
what's the Most High communicating?
He's showing that good and bad is coming. Same time we're in right now. A lot of people don't realize that America was the #1 wasteful country in the whole world, as far as wasting food, wasting resources, throwing away good food, throwing away food that may not fit. You know, just now you're starting to see companies take so-called ugly fruit and vegetables, and trying to resell it, send it to you online in a box or a package, and reuse this food that's still good, but it doesn't look the part. It might have a little bend or an imperfection in it. And just now, you're starting to see companies utilize this resource. But prior to that, if it didn't fit the mold, the color, the shine, if it didn't have the specific look of a fruit or vegetable, or any kind of blemish whatsoever, it was thrown in the trash, wasted, or sent to some food bank of sorts. But now, what are you watching now? You're watching food banks run out of food. You're watching food banks not able to keep up with the demand. You look at grocery stores not able to keep up with produce, and we haven't even seen what's coming yet for the next harvest, because there's not going to be a harvest yielding this year because Russia got control of it. So we're not going to see the effects of that until next year. So what he's showing them is the things to come, which ironically we'll be in the same boat. From one of the and everybody knows when you got Scotty the mechanic talking about food shortages in America, you know it's bad. You know what I'm saying? He's a YouTuber. But anyway, go ahead.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, people are worried now. For the first time in people's life, they're thinking about, am I going to have enough? So, but we know also the scripture says what? He says, at the time of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of what? Of affliction. And at the time of affliction, there's a forgetfulness of what? Prosperity. So he's showing you how this famine is about to be so bad that people are going to forget about the times they threw food away. Or they're going to forget about times they didn't want to eat leftovers. About the time you just let food go to waste in your refrigerator.
Went through water bottles.
Yeah, you had trays of chicken that was sitting in the back of the refrigerator because you said it's day 2. I don't eat leftovers. Shit, you're going to wish you had that chicken in the back of the refrigerator now. That's what's coming. But read on, let's get to the point. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 31 read.
And by the way, I do eat leftovers.
Me too.
I'm not that proud. I don't eat leftovers. But some people are. I don't eat leftovers. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 31 reads, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following.
Go ahead.
For it shall be very grievous.
Go ahead. It's going to be bad. Just like it was going to be bad then in Egypt, it's going to be bad here in the new Egypt. Go ahead. Modern day Egypt. Read on.
And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by the Most High.
So not only off this Wi-Fi, make sure we're not taken away from Salakia for that. We had a little technical difficulties. Let me make sure we're not taking from the strength of this internet.
No Wi-Fi on the phones?
Yeah, just if you can. I mean, not that everybody's hooked up to Wi-Fi, but we need to preserve the strength of this signal. No, yeah, it's good, bro. We back in action. All right, so go ahead.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 32 reads, and for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by the Most High.
Go ahead.
And the Most High will shortly bring it to pass.
Right, read on.
Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise.
Stop right there. What's the title of this class?
Discreet.
No, discreet lives matter, right? That's what the Most High cared about. But listen to what Joseph is telling Pharaoh. He's telling Pharaoh, he says, now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise and do what?
And set him over the land of Egypt.
Did he mention himself? Did he mention, I know exactly who you need to set over this matter. I got somebody perfect in mind to set up in charge over this mission of what's coming. What did he do?
He put himself last. He let others esteem themselves. Esteems others before yourself, basically.
Right. So he didn't even include himself within this idea of leadership or this position. He wasn't jockeying for position. Mm-hmm. He wasn't fighting for authority or self-promoting himself on who the person should be to be put in this established position of leadership. Like you see most men do, jockeying for control, jockeying for position, going back and forth about who's going to be in charge. No, he didn't do that. He said his advice was to Pharaoh to do what?
Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Salakia, I had a question.
Yeah.
Like, does this go back to like I remember like what Kyle said about wisdom over rank, right? As far as in like
no, not right now.
Brother,
not that.
No, not right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7th plenteous year.
So what is his advice? He's explaining to Pharaoh, this is the advice that I recommend that you do. But he left himself out of it. right? He says, now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, right? Read on.
Come. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 35 reads, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities.
Go ahead.
Verse 36.
They're going to need food for the cities. We got to keep some food for the cities, man. Read on.
And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine.
Go ahead.
Which shall be in the land of Egypt.
Go ahead, because these crops are not going to produce. Read on.
That the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants.
Read on.
And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is?
Man, where do we go to find a man that can give us this ability and this leadership to direct us towards the saving of our country?
Yeah, they needed a hero.
Yeah, they need a hero at this point. Can we find such a man? Who may that be? Read on.
Savior.
Right.
A man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is?
Now, listen to what he told him initially. He said, Pharaoh, you need to look out for a man that's discreet and wise. He's showing you that men that are discreet and wise, they possess the what?
The Spirit of the Most High.
Yes, because that's an understanding of what it means to have the Spirit of the Most High.
Wow.
Is that I'm discreet and I'm wise. And we're going to get into it a little bit also about the understanding of what it means to be discreet and wise. But obviously, that's something that is sought after at this point in time. Men that are discreet and wise, read on, that have the Spirit of the Most High, read on.
A man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is?
Read on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as the Most High have showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house.
He said, you're the man that I'm choosing to put over my house. He said, since the Most High was using you as the vessel, he didn't promote himself. He didn't exalt himself. He didn't cast himself up as me. Let me do it. Let me do it. I got it. I can do it. I'm the one that you should choose. He didn't promote himself. He said, I'm gonna choose you. Read on.
Verse 40. Thou shalt be over the house, my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled.
He says, whatever you say, all the people of Egypt are going to follow your words. Read on.
Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
He said, there's only one issue, and you'll be second in command. Read on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
So he came out the dungeon. He came out of the literal dungeon.
Started from the bottom.
He started from the bottom. He got it out the mud, man. He started at the lowest point possible.
That's crazy.
And now he's wearing Pharaoh's ring. He's wearing chains of gold. He's wearing expensive vestures.
Linen.
He's wearing expensive linen.
Fine linen, right?
Fine linen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It said, and he is second in command of Egypt. He got a gold chain about his neck. He laced him up, man. He didn't have the death row pendant on. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the death row chain on. He didn't have none of this on. He had Pharaoh's. He probably had the ankh. Probably had a gold ankh on. You know they.
That's the fashion of Egypt. That's the fashion of Egypt.
Probably got the eye of Horus, so you know what I'm saying, on the chain. But regardless, he got a gold chain on, second in command.
They gave him.
You're right. Read on.
God, verse 43. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had.
And he said he made him to ride in the second chariot that he had,
So
right next to him.
That's a nice life right there.
Man, yes, that means you're not just parking the cars. You're driving the cars. You're not the butler. You're not the porter. Hey, bring me my chariot. No, this man has his own chariot designated strictly for him with the royal vesture on. What is it showing you? It's showing you that discretion is what brings men from low degree to a high degree. Wow. That's what elevates men.
Wow, that's true.
That's what brings men up from whatever position they're at. It's the key to success in elevating you in life. is that discretion and wisdom. And we're seeing the benefits of it. Read on.
God. And they cried before him, bow the knee.
And they cried before him what?
Bow the knee.
Bow your knee to this man, to Joseph.
Oh, they're crying out. They're telling the masses.
Yeah.
Bow the knee. So everybody
had to bow to Joseph, man.
Okay.
Read on.
And they cried before him, bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
They had to bow. When they saw Joseph, they bowed down to Joseph. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt.
And nobody better lift up a hand or a foot or go against my will in all of the land of Egypt. Nobody better speak against you, talk against you, move against you in this position. Showing you the power of discretion. Discretion is that valuable attribute that elevates men out of low status and out of bad positions or mediocre or a mean base life. What's that definition of discretion?
Discretion, prudence or knowledge, and prudence, that discernment which enables a person.
It's discernment, meaning I have the ability to make good decisions and bad decisions. I understand the power of my words and the effect that they have on people. I understand the power of my actions and the effect that they have on people. It's a discernment, meaning it's spiritually cognizant and aware of knowing what's appropriate. I know exactly what's appropriate when. And this man knew exactly what he was saying when he was telling Pharaoh, go point out a man in the land. Go point out a man in the land that and set in ruler that's discreet and wise. He knew what he was saying, but you know what he wasn't doing? He wasn't promoting himself. He was using discernment. Because you know what that could have been to Pharaoh? That could have been a message to Pharaoh like, man, this guy just want to come up. Why is he electing himself to be a
that sounds like a person.
That's like like somebody that want to be in charge.
Come. That's like a person who's like, no, we need somebody that's just about my size.
Yeah. About my height.
About my size, about my nation.
Yeah.
Somebody that communicates to the Pharaoh.
Yeah. Somebody that got the position.
was already
They're already doing the position.
Yeah. You don't need anybody new.
You need somebody qualified.
Yeah.
You know, I think my resume speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean,
my resume speaks for itself that I have the ability to do this position. You know what that looks like to Pharaoh? Man, this dude is saying anything because he wants to be in charge.
Can't trust his word.
You can't trust his word.
Because his motivations may be impure.
His motivations sound like they're self-centered. And they're geared towards the promotion of self. And that's why he was real careful about how he was wording and choosing his words to bring this information to Pharaoh about choosing a man. This man was using discretion.
Because many men would have said, hey, listen, I got you, bro. I had the dream. I've been had visions.
What is the Most High trying to show you? Because I'm the one with the dream.
Exactly.
Read on. No, definition.
Definition, it
God.
says, that discernment which enables a person to judge critically.
Now, what we're going to find out is that discernment is of a valuable cost, and it should be in high demand. That discernment that we're reading about right now, that critical discernment, to be able to think critically about every decision that I make, about the effect that I have in my decisions and in my words, that should be something that's highly desired amongst people. He says it's critical to judge critical. It enables a person to judge critical or critically. Go ahead.
Of what is correct.
Of what is what?
Correct.
I know how to think about and execute things that are correct. I know how to do things right. I know how to say things right that are correct. And
so you're saying that if he does things right, says things right, and positions his mind the right way, that means his absence of a bunch of different, I guess, like his mind is properly filtered. It's absent of things that are pulling his conscience or his flesh getting in the way of his thinking. Like his selfish motivations.
Right. There's no distractions or interference. There's no interference. Read on.
To judge critically.
It says to judge critically what?
To judge critically of what is correct proper.
Wow.
United with caution.
And not only is it the ability to make good and bad decisions, to make it work, your thought process work for you, and the things that you come up with, how you think, how you talk, how you speak to people, how you make moves, how you interact with the people around you.
Basic judgment.
Basic judgment. Not only that, he says, but it's united with what?
United with caution.
So I'm not only that, but I'm careful. I'm choosing my words wisely. See, a lot of people just say they go off their feelings.
Yeah, I feel
They
wise.
speak from emotion. A lot of people answer people and deal with one another, especially brothers with brothers, sisters with sisters, husbands and wives, friends, whatever. You know, teachers to students, children to parents. They just answer off feelings.
Off the cuff.
Because I'm used to speaking from my feelings.
Yeah, but I don't think you understand. I'm just passionate.
Right, I'm just passionate.
I'm just passionate.
I think you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think you're taking what I'm saying the right way.
Exactly.
You know
You're
what?
misunderstanding me.
You're misunderstanding me. Because I'm used to speaking based off feelings. Just because you're used to speaking off feelings, and something feels a certain way to you, doesn't mean that's the discernment that gives us discretion, or that's that type of discretion that we're reading about in Joseph, where he says that discernment which enables a person to judge critically. Just because you judge and you speak off emotion doesn't mean you're speaking or judging things righteously.
It's not emotion. It's just this. I've been feeling like this for a while. It's not just emotion right now.
Right.
Like this because it's a longer emotion.
Oh yeah, because it's a thought that hasn't left anywhere.
This has been in my mind for a while.
That doesn't mean it's critical. It's critical thinking. And a lot of times we make that mistake of thinking that, you know what, the way I look at things, I don't see the damage or I don't see the problem at the way I'm looking at things. And and just because you don't see a problem in it doesn't mean that you have the spirit of discernment. That doesn't mean that you have this discretion. Yes, sir.
So discretion is about seeing the damage which you could cause through your actions
And your words.
and your words.
And that's what causes you to proceed with caution. Stop right there on that definition and go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 verse 8.
Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha chapter 5 and verse 8. Whenever you're ready.
Let me get into it because I don't want to read along. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 8 reads, what hath pride profited us?
It says what?
What hath pride profited us?
So it's asking a question. It says, what hath pride profited us? How far has your pride gotten you? Is what it's saying.
Well, how you know it's pride? Because I've been right in the past on multiple things. You're saying it's pride because you disagree with me.
You disagree?
Because you disagree with me, that's why it's pride?
Yeah. Because you don't agree with the way I'm thinking or what I'm saying?
You know a lot of times it is? It's our job to take on the mind of people, our elders. It's our job to take on the mind of our superiors and see things from their perspective. That's a wise person. A wise person has the ability to see something from multiple perspectives. I don't just see it from my perspective.
And definition of pride. I like what you said. Definition of pride is what?
High opinion of oneself.
Unduly.
Unduly high opinion of oneself.
Okay.
Write this down. Pride prompts a man to vaunt and overvalue what he is.
Wow.
Pride prompts a man to vaunt and overvalue what he is. Because you know what? If it's not emotion that I'm using as the tool or the filter that by way of how I speak or communicate with people, it's based upon how I see myself. So if I'm talking to people based upon what value I estimate myself to be, then that's coming off with what? Pride. Because I'm talking from a position of where I think I am. I'm not speaking on facts. I'm not judging righteously. I'm making decisions based upon how I see myself, and therefore I treat people and I talk to people as such, because this is how I think about the way I look at things. So the higher value that I have on my way of thinking, the more pride I possess. And if I overestimate this value, then that I'm vaunting this pride. If I overestimate my critical ability to think.
Vaunt. To boast, to make a vain display of one's own worth, attainments, or decorations.
Now read verse 37 and 38 of Genesis one more time.
God.
Matter of fact, read 33 and 34.
God. Genesis chapter 41, verse 33. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt.
Now did Joseph come off and said, I'm qualified? What did Joseph say? Read on.
Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land.
He says it was Joseph's advice to appoint who?
Officers over the land.
Did he name himself?
La'ah.
Did he put himself in that category?
La'ah.
Did he say I deserve to be an officer?
La'ah.
He said what?
Appoint officers over the land.
And what was that definition of vaunt?
Vaunt. To boast, to make a vain display of one's own worth, attainments, or decorations.
Okay, so now, did Joseph put himself in that position to let Pharaoh know, I'm your guy? What did he do? Did he vaunt himself with pride? Did he estimate himself to be the guy that he's talking about, referring to those officers that in charge of people? No, he didn't. He didn't do that. There was no pride involved, and there was no vaunting involved.
He didn't show off.
There was no display. I'm the guy that you're looking for that's going to get us through this famine coming up in the next 7 years, or after the 7 years of plenty. Read on.
I gotta pull one point.
God.
It says arrogance. It's related. That species of pride. So pride has species.
It has different genomes.
It's like dogs. Like, yeah.
About different aspects of it.
It says right here. It says a species.
Right. So arrogance is one species of pride.
It's a particular species.
Like
or
a
family.
Chihuahua versus a greyhound.
They're all dogs.
Like a breed.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. So it's a part of pride.
Like there's 12 tribes.
It's a different type. It's a different type.
They're all Israelites. There's 12 tribes.
I get what you're
Right?
saying.
There's pride. There's different versions.
Different variations of pride.
It says that species of pride, which consists in exorbitant claims of rank and dignity,
Yeah.
estimation of power, which exalts the worth or importance of the person to an undue degree.
Man,
Conceitedness.
it's conceitedness. I elevated myself. I elevated myself in my mind, and I said that I deserve rank, position, authority, power, governance. I should be in charge, because I'm overestimating who I am and how I see myself.
And it also arrogance in Latin says to beg or to desire. So it's a really display of my desire to be beyond where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. But Proverbs 22 and 4 says what?
Proverbs chapter 22.
Somebody got it. Let Naga get it. He got it.
God.
Because you gonna
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 4.
go ahead.
By humility,
By what?
by humility,
Go ahead.
and the fear of the Most High,
There's two things that a man should possess more than he should his own pride.
That's true.
It says his humility and what?
and the fear of the Most High,
These two things a man should possess versus an overly high opinion, undue high opinion of oneself.
That's true.
Or his dignity. Read on.
are riches.
Or what?
Are riches.
So it's by humility and fear of the Lord, or what?
Are riches.
Or riches, what else?
And honor.
Gold chains on your neck. Everybody, you got your own chariot next to Pharaoh. You got people, the whole nation of Egypt, bowing down by Pharaoh's command to you.
Because brothers like to act different.
Yeah.
Brothers act different when they get a insurance check. Like
Man, they get
$5,000.
They get an injury claim and collect off it after the lawyer got his part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get your little change. You get your 1/4, your 1/3. And brothers lose their damn mind.
They're like millionaires, right?
Bro, they stunt, bro. They brothers be going crazy off of $5,000. They lose it. They lose it. $8,000, lose it. $10,000, can't tell them nothing. $15,000. Anything over 20, man, you forget about it. They ain't even coming to class. They ain't even coming to class no more. They'll be back when they go broke. And that's if they come back, if they humble enough. Then they always come back with a story. Oh man, you're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe what happened. What happened to the money, man? I thought you was balling. Thought you was up. They always come back with a story. Oh man, you're not gonna believe what happened, man. I was in the club and I met this girl. And, she robbed me.
She robbed him. And for like 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
It's a long robbery.
Just want to see if I can come back to the brother's house. Anyway, so he said, by humility and fear of the Lord is what?
Are riches.
What else?
And honor.
And honor. This is what Joseph is receiving. Joseph is receiving riches, gold chains, the king's seal on his hand.
Yes, that's fire.
That means whatever you authorize, everybody must execute. That means power. You have the power to authorize or sanction somebody. Read on.
And life.
And life are what? Are from the Most High, from humility and fear of the Lord.
It's a shot caller, literally.
This is what elevates you, not a man's pride or estimation or vaunting. Proverbs 15:33. Stay in Proverbs real quick.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 33. The fear of the Most High is the instruction.
And the fear of the Most High is what?
Is the instruction.
So the actual secret behind discretion is what?
Instruction.
Of what?
Of wisdom.
It says, read it one more time.
The fear of the Most High.
So the secret behind discretion is what?
Oh, the fear.
Is the fear of the Most High. The secret of discretion, the ingredients of discretion is what it's made out of. How it works, what makes it potent is what?
The fear.
Is the fear. Versus a person vaunting is a person that moves without caution. A person with pride, they don't move with caution. They just go off of whatever they think and how they conduct themselves based upon how they see themselves or how they feel. See, but the fear of the Lord, He's showing you the ingredients behind discretion is the fear of the Most High. Read on.
The fear of the Most High is the instruction of wisdom.
And so the fear of the Most High is the instruction of wisdom. So if I don't have discretion, how should I ever obtain discretion?
That's a good question.
I got to first do what?
You gotta fear.
You got to fear who?
The Most
Fear
High.
the Most High.
You got to fear the Most High, which takes humility. And you got to allow yourself to be taught, which also takes what? Humility. And this is this is how you receive. This is the beginning to receiving discretion. You got to cast off your thought, because there's a lot of people that walk around like they know what the hell they're talking about. They know what the hell they're talking about. They know what they're doing, because they've seen a little bit of success off of using their 2-bit brain, and they received a little bit of success from it. So you can't tell them nothing. They know it all. They can't be instructed. So there's only one way to get this discretion. You got to break off and cast off the idea that you know something. You got to lose the idea that you're on a level. You're not on a level. You can't accept the fact that you're not on a level. You'll never get the ingredients, which is the Most High's wisdom, which comes from His instruction to give you what you need to come up. Read on.
The fear of the Most High is the instruction of wisdom.
And what's wisdom? Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 9. Somebody read that.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 9. Unto you therefore, O kings, do I speak
Read on.
that ye may learn wisdom.
They said that you may learn what?
Wisdom.
So it's got to be taught. In order for you to receive instruction and wisdom, you have to be taught it. You'll never get discretion unless you humble yourself and put yourself in a posture of being taught, casting off what you think you know and how you think you're valuable in your estimation, your rank that you have in your mind.
Well, the problem with that is now I can't dictate. I can't dictate and push my narrative or my agenda.
Right.
Because I have to be the one that's instructed.
Right.
I'm not the instructor.
No, you're the instructee. You're getting instructed. You're receiving instruction. You're not also in control.
And that's practicing humility. Then is to humble yourself.
Right. I'm not in control.
Yeah.
Read on.
And not fall away.
And not fall away. Read on.
For they that keep holiness holily
Go ahead.
shall be judged holy.
It says, for they that keep holiness holily shall be judged what?
Holy.
Read on.
And they that have learned.
Okay, there it is again. And they that have what?
Learned.
They that have learned what?
Such things
Go ahead.
shall find what to answer.
They know how to speak to people. They know how to get the best out of a situation. They know what to answer is. They use discretion, like we're reading about Joseph. Joseph knew exactly what to say. He had the answers to Pharaoh's dream. But he didn't come in with the intention of being in charge. He didn't come in with the intention of being on top. He didn't come in with the intention of telling people what to do or having rulership over Egypt. He came in with the intention of saying, this is what the Most High showed me. This is my recommendation. Pick out officers and judges to dictate over this matter so that you could survive this coming famine.
He wasn't imposing himself.
No, not at all.
He didn't have a desire to impose
He
himself.
eliminated his desires. He eliminated his wants. See, you can't use discretion if you have a strong want or desire, or you have an alternative or ulterior motive.
Or intense passions.
Yeah, you got some other motive sitting behind you that's self-willed and self-driven and expect to use discretion. Then your discretion will be contaminated by your desires. And that's what Pharaoh wasn't. He wasn't allowing his intentions or his desires to contaminate his message to Pharaoh.
He'll miscarry in the job he was given. He'll
Right.
miscarry in the duty he was given, because he's making it about him versus with the needs of the people.
Yep. Read on.
It says, wherefore set your affection upon my word.
And that's why it's so critical before you even get discretion. You got to submit to the Most High's words, not your own. You got to submit to the Most High's mind frame, not your mind frame, which is pride. Because this is why people's situations never work.
Wow.
This is why people's situations don't work. You look at their happiness, sad. You look at their demeanor, depressed. You look at their relationships, broken. You look at their jobs, complaining about their position. That's why people ain't happy. You know why? Because people don't possess discretion. They say what they feel. They say that what's on the top of their mind. There's no governor on their mouth. There's no governor on their actions. They don't check. They don't use wisdom of the Most High to say, you know what? Is this wisdom? That's why it says right here, it says, for they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy. They don't go back and say, you know what? Is this right? Is the way I'm talking correct by the way of the Most High standards? Or am I only saying what I feel, and I'm only letting what I feel come out of my mouth?
It's like being selfish, not being mindful. You know what I'm saying?
And this is why people aren't successful. This is why people aren't successful, because they don't know the recipe for success.
Because it's about them.
Because it's about them. It's about how you feel.
Just like that way I have pulled up, this is somebody who's boasting. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's a show off. You know what I'm saying? My
Right.
method works,
Look at my method.
not yours. You know what I'm saying? I've
No,
been doing this for X amount of years.
Not even
You know what I'm
years.
saying?
It's not even years. I had an idea.
Right.
It's not even years. I had an idea, and I want to manifest that idea. So, and a lot of times, this is why these ideas don't work. That's why you watch men's ideas fall flat. You watch men's plans. You watch their careers. You watch their marriage, you watch their lifestyle fall flat on their back. They don't know why.
I thought.
Cause I thought.
I thought.
Because you know what they didn't do? They didn't allow themselves to get instructed.
Right. That's pride.
Wisdom is the teacher. Finish that. Read on.
Come. It says, wherefore set your affection upon my words.
Read on.
Desire them,
Go ahead.
and ye shall be instructed.
And you'll get instructed. That's the ingredient, the secret ingredients to discretion is allowing yourself to be taught the Most High's wisdom. You need to do that first before you can even start seeing the fruit of discretion
Come.
like Joseph received. Read on.
Verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away.
Read on.
Yea, she is easily seen
So, if wisdom is easily seen of what?
of them that love her.
So, it should also be seen, easily seen of those that hate her.
It should be both ways, right?
It's both ways.
Come.
All you have to do is look at a person's lifestyle, and you can tell this person don't love wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You don't love hearing instructions.
Even if I have the sad face or the humble countenance, I'm just looking humble.
Yeah.
My lifestyle and my actions and my speech
Right.
would really speak and dictate if I'm humble or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not my demeanor.
Not my demeanor. But you know, just as much as you can see somebody that has discretion and reaping the benefits of using the Most High's wisdom, you can easily see that somebody that despises the Most High's wisdom because they don't use discretion. Neither do they reap the benefits of it as well.
Mm.
And that's what it's showing. It says never failing. It says it's easily seen of them that love her. Read on.
And bound of such as seek her.
So now, as far as the sources of how you're supposed to have been obtaining wisdom this whole time in your life, we got people of various ages in here. We got people of various ages from 15, 14, 2 years old, 3 years old, or 45, 55, and whatever. We got a whole slew of ages in here.
Ranges.
When should I have been getting the Most High's wisdom, which helps me get and obtain discretion? Go to Proverbs 22:6. When should I have been getting this? Because we got a whole lot of people with a lot of different age groups. Same thing online. A lot of people online are from a wide variety of age groups. So how long should I have been pursuing and obtaining the Most High's wisdom? Read on.
Come. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6 reads, train up a child in the way he should go.
Go ahead.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So I'm supposed to have been getting this training to get the Most High's wisdom since when?
My youth.
Child up.
So you know what I got? I got video games. I got Nintendo. I got Sega.
Got Sony PlayStation.
I got PlayStation. I got Xbox. I got arcades. PS what? PS4. They got the 5 now.
They got the 5. It's new.
I got the Nintendo Go.
Yeah.
Or the what's the other little Sega little handheld joint?
Sega Genesis? No.
No.
Oh, the Game Boy?
Yeah, Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
I've been given toys. I've been given toys in my life. I wasn't getting wisdom from the Most. I'm supposed to be getting trained up, not in toys and video games. I'm supposed to be getting trained up in how to use the Most High's wisdom. This is something that each and every one of us supposed to have been gotten since our youth.
Right.
Read on.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
And when he is old, what happens?
He will not depart from it.
So it was supposed to happen at an early age. You're supposed to have been exercised with wisdom, being able to get to a point where you can use discretion, and you're supposed to have been given that at an early age. Now Ecclesiastes 6:18 says what?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up.
In order for me to have the discretion that's needed for me to be successful in my life, there's something I was supposed to be getting the whole time that I've been born, from the time I was born. From my youth up, I was supposed to be getting what?
instruction.
Read on.
So shalt thou find wisdom.
And so shall thou find what?
Wisdom.
And wisdom is that secret ingredient to discretion. Read on.
Till thine old age.
And it didn't matter. It didn't matter how old I was. I would have learned and have received and gotten discretion, which elevates me from a low status. So no matter how old I am, I know how to reap the benefits of serving the Most High at all times. I know how to. It says riches, honor, and life are from the Most High. I would have been able to receive this using discretion. But you know what? How can I have something that I never received or never desired to humble myself to receive? Go to hold this right here. Go to 1 Samuel chapter 8. 1 Samuel chapter 8, and I want you to read. Start at verse 1. And somebody get the Josephus for those that don't have it. If you don't have a Josephus, we're gonna read something real quick. If you don't have it, pass out the Josephus. If you don't have one.
1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 1. Let me know when you're ready.
Read on.
Come. 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 1 reads, And it came to pass, when Samuel was old.
It said, because remember, Samuel was in the temple at about since 8 years old, right?
Come.
So he was already being exercised in instruction and wisdom. So here Samuel is in his old age, but Samuel possessed wisdom. He was noted as a prophet. He received instruction. Samuel had discretion. Read on.
Come. When Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel.
Go ahead.
Now the name of his firstborn was Joel.
Go ahead.
And the name of his second, Abiathar.
So Joel, 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 Yael, Yoel, Yaala. Go ahead. It says, now the name of his firstborn was Joel. Go ahead.
God, in the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba.
So who appointed these two sons as judges?
Samuel.
So let's read on.
Verse 3. And his sons walked not in his way.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait a minute. The scripture says, train up a child in the way he shall go, and when he is older, he shall not depart. Mm-hmm. Right? Do you think that Samuel was teaching his children? Con, he did.
Samuel.
That Samuel was a prophet. Of course he would have. Of course he was.
Coming people. One of the greatest.
Yeah, you know he wasn't. Of course he was teaching his kids. He thought they were ready. That's why he put them in a position. Read on.
Come. And his sons walked not in his way.
But his sons didn't do what?
Walked not in his way.
So was it Samuel's fault or is his son's fault?
Son's fault.
Is his son's fault?
Gather instruction.
They were supposed to be gathering instruction from thy youth up.
But they wanted to insert. They wanted to project. They wanted to impose their ideal.
I like what you said a minute ago. You said he was one of the best.
One of the best.
How can you ask for a better father?
That's ridiculous.
And you don't choose to walk in his ways. He says, but his sons walk not where?
In his ways.
Read on.
But turned aside after lucre.
After what?
Lucre.
His sons became desirous for what?
Money.
Money. Lucre is money. Mm-hmm. They didn't care about righteousness. I cared about money. See, so what this kid's supposed to be receiving is instruction on how to get wisdom. You know what's on their mind? Money was on my mind.
Money was.
They didn't give a damn about wisdom.
Money.
So here's these children who had one of the best fathers that they could have in the world, and here it is. All you care about is money.
Simpleton.
Real simple.
Real simple guy.
Both of them.
You could have followed the legacy, or you could have eclipsed the legacy of your father. Like, I'm not trying to be a sports guy, but Steph Curry.
Yep.
He's eclipsed the legacy of his father.
But as to one of the greatest of all time.
of all time, and unexpectedly,
Yep.
because nobody believed in him.
Nobody saw him.
Nobody believed in him, and he surpassed the legacy of his father.
Just as an example.
But that's in the carnal realm. In the spiritual realm, we have men raised around scriptures, raised around multiple years of Bibles.
Yep.
Bibles done got highlighted up, got new Bibles.
You didn't got your Bible when you was first, before you could read, you had your Bible with your name on it. Your parents already got you one. They already had your name on it. You couldn't even read, you had a Bible already.
God.
But you know what? That doesn't mean because the kids grow up around men of righteousness and men of wisdom, it doesn't mean that they're gonna pursue the same thing that their father pursued. It said these children right here pursue what? What was on their mind?
Lucre.
Lucre is money. That's what they cared about. They didn't care about what Samuel had to teach them, what Samuel could pass down to him as a father. How do you get to the point where the Most High works through you as a prophet? They didn't care about that. Read on.
And took bribes.
And they took what?
Bribes.
Man, they waxing their palms. Read on.
And perverted judgment.
And they perverted judgment. They didn't care about judging righteously. They cared about leaning things to their advantage. That means that I'll hustle you. That means that, man, hold on. Get this right here. Somebody read this right quick.
I was going to.
Give me this right here. It's in Ecclesiastes. Golly, it's crazy now. Get this right here.
Oh, yeah.
Ecclesiastes
Yeah.
26 and 29.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 29.
Yeah.
A merchant.
It said what?
A merchant.
A merchant is a salesman. That's somebody always selling something. Buying and selling. A merchant is what?
Shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong.
So if I don't care about judgment, but I care about gaining and getting leverage and getting profit, making profit, it says a merchant shall hardly keep himself from what?
Doing wrong.
Read on.
And an huckster.
A what?
And huckster.
What's a huckster?
Huckster. A retailer of small articles of provisions. A mean, trickish fellow.
A mean, trickish fellow. That means that when it comes to trusting this person, they're always looking to hustle you. They're always looking to trick you. So they don't care about what's being fair. They don't care about being. They always care about hitting a lick. That's all they want. That's all they care about. I just want to hit a lick. Every exchange is about my advantage. Every exchange is about me coming up.
I'm very transactional.
I'm very transactional. That's what I care about. I care about whatever exchange that I'm dealing with people, that the advantage is always on my side. It said a huckster, or as a what?
And an huckster shall not be freed from sin.
And a huckster shall not be free from sin. And what makes this huckster? Read that definition again.
A mean, trickish fellow.
Go ahead.
Somebody who is a petty merchant.
A petty merchant. They're always trying to wheel and deal for some gain. I'm always trying to get the edge over somebody. I'm always trying to get over on somebody.
Inferior. Small, little, trifling.
Trifling, man.
Inconsiderable.
Inconsiderable, go ahead.
Inferior.
So that's that mindset. It's a real petty mind frame. He said this is the mindset that was on Samuel's sons. They were so petty about gaining over on people, getting money, or hitting licks, hitting people with licks. As long as I hit a lick, man, I got him.
I won.
I beat him.
I think I won.
I finessed him.
There it is.
Yeah, I finessed. That's that modern day.
That's the new one.
Yeah, I finessed him. Yeah, that's all our people care about. Getting leverage over somebody. Not about being fair and equitable and justice and righteousness. That's the nature of our people. But that's the nature of these two sons. Let that go and finish the verse in Samuel.
God. 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 4 reads, Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together.
Go ahead.
And came to Samuel unto Ramah.
Read on.
And said unto him, Behold, thou art old.
He said, man, you old, bro. Read on. Sir?
Thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king.
He said, man, your sons aren't good sons, man. You don't have good sons, man.
You got some baby kids.
Yeah, you put these sons as leaders over us, but they're just taking advantage of us. They don't care about the nation itself. They don't care about the nation as a whole. They care about themselves getting rich.
They're about them.
They're about them. They don't care about the nation as a whole.
They're not discreet.
They're not discreet. Now go to the Josephus, book 6, chapter 3, paragraph 2, and read line 32.
Another word will be in this time period will be basic.
Basic, shallow,
Yeah. Shallow and basic. Light.
light. Read that right there.
Said line 32.
Yeah.
Antiquities of the Jews, book 6, chapter 3, and paragraph 2.
Read that.
But afterwards he found himself oppressed with old age,
Read on.
and not able to do what he used to do.
Go ahead.
So he committed the government and the care of the multitude to his sons.
He said he committed the government. That's like you working all your life, paying all your bills, keeping up a house for 30 years to pass it down to your kids that party in the house, that turn the house into a trap house, that turn the house into a party pad. Yeah, we just gonna turn this house out and not give a damn about all the work that was put into it. But that's how you have some children. You have some children that they don't have the disciplines of their fathers. They don't have the mind frame of it. They didn't get the instruction. They didn't care about the instruction that was being passed down to them. They cared about money. They didn't care about wisdom. They didn't care about obtaining discretion. They cared about coming up, having fun. Read on.
The elder of whom was called Joel, and the name of the younger was Abiah. He also enjoined them to reside and judge the people, the one at the city of Bethel, and the other at Beersheba, and divided the people into districts that should be under the jurisdiction of each of them.
Go ahead.
Now these men afford us an evident example.
He says, now these men, he's talking about the two sons of Samuel. He said, these men afford us what?
An evident example.
An evident example of what?
And demonstration how some children are not of the like dispositions with their parents.
He says, this is an
Wow.
obvious example
Wow.
that some children are of not like disposition.
But they got the same genetic Kodak. They got the same genes, the same facial expressions.
They walk the same.
They walk the same body language.
Same body, same, like you
You just look
said,
just like your father.
body posture.
Just like your father.
Yeah.
Just like your daddy.
Talk like them, walk like them, act like them, dance like them, chew like them, do everything like them.
But spirit.
But you don't have the same care that he cared about. And this is what some children miss out on. They don't care about the same discipline that their father had. They don't care about the same desire or pursuit that their father
That's the
pursued.
truth. That's the truth, Doc.
He said this is a prime example and a demonstration of what?
Demonstration how some children are not of the like dispositions with their parents,
Go ahead.
but sometimes perhaps good and moderate,
He says, but sometimes they're good and moderate. Read on.
though born of wicked parents.
He said, and sometimes they have bad parents, but they come out okay.
So people always like to say, "Oh man, my parents, man,
Yeah.
they wasn't
there for me.
They wasn't right."
They wasn't there for me.
I can tell you 15,000 things. I got a whole notebook about what they did wrong.
Yep.
I can break down every other month
I was
their
there.
bad decisions.
I suffered because of their decisions.
They can point out and break down. They can give a biblical, historical breakdown
We
about
ate cereal for dinner.
how off their family was, or how off their parents was.
Yep.
But
We ate
regardless,
rice and beans for a month straight.
God,
I had bad parents.
yeah,
You got people who always want to blame their parents. He said, but sometimes their parents were wrong. That was selfish, into themselves, wicked. But that doesn't mean that the kids don't have a chance, because the parents were off. It says sometimes, sometimes it is the parents. It's the parents that laid down a bad example, and you taught your kids what not to do. Sometimes that's the case. But what else? Read on.
And sometimes showing themselves to be wicked,
And sometimes, go ahead.
though born of good parents.
Sometimes the kids are bad, even though they had what?
Good parents.
They had good parents.
So it goes both ways.
It goes both
You
ways.
can have bad parents and be righteous and great, or you can have the best of parents, the most considerate of parents, and
Thoughtful.
still be
See some wicked ass kids.
still be wicked. Huh?
Now, usually what happened in that situation, if I had some actual parents that actually cared about me, and I had some parents that cared about righteousness, that sought after a righteous lifestyle, but I came out crooked, then what happened?
They didn't raise them up in the way they should.
No.
You rebelled.
No.
They tried, but you decided to go a different way, right?
Let's read Proverbs chapter 19, verse 18.
See, the
Read
Bible
that.
has to say.
Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 18.
Read that.
Chasten thy son
Now, they was getting their butt whooped. They was getting them whoopings. Read on.
while there is hope.
Because your parents was whooping that butt because they knew once you get older, you wasn't going to listen no more. So what if they did whoop you? What if they did care about righteousness? What if they did lay down the law on you? Read on.
And let not thy soul spare for his crying.
And don't listen to you crying. They didn't care about crying. They
Don't
cared
enable
about
the spirit.
They didn't care. Oh, I didn't mean to whoop you.
Ooh.
You know, it hurts me more than it hurts you. Read on.
Yeah.
A man of great wrath shall suffer.
It says, but what happened? A man of great
great
wrath shall what?
Suffer
That means,
punishment.
That means if you don't whoop these kids, your kids will come out unruly, and they're gonna suffer what?
For punishment.
They're gonna suffer punishment. Read on.
For if thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again.
No, if you
Oh,
it said if you spare his crying and you listen to his crying, oh you killing me, oh you whooping me, you killing me, oh you listen to all that, you taper off and you say, you know what, I'm not gonna whoop him today. Guess what he gonna do?
That is back in jail, y'all.
He gonna do it again.
Come.
So what if I did have a father and parent or mother that cared about righteousness and they put the belt on me and they whooped me and they did what they were supposed to do as far as making sure I came out correct? Now jump to verse 26.
To the best of their ability.
To the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Now jump to verse 26. How did I still come out evil? Verse 26 says what?
Come. He that wasteth his father
I did what?
wasteth his father.
You know how you waste your father? You didn't see the good in your father.
Wow.
That's how you wasted your father.
Wow. So all the father's righteous endeavors and the years of sweat, the years of studying, the years of being on point. There's gonna be a fall off. Some people fall off, but the good years that was forgotten about.
No, I wasted an opportunity.
Wow. Okay.
I wasted the opportunity of having my father there who actually cared about me. This is how you still got those fathers that were righteous but still came out with wicked kids. The kids did what?
Wasteth his father.
I wasted my father. That means I did what? I never saw the good in what he was trying to do to help to embolden or to influence me as to follow his footsteps. Because you got a lot of at this point in time, you got a lot of the knowledge of being an Israelite has been out now heavy for about 50 years in America and exploding worldwide globally. Now it's not like a far-fetched idea. Everybody know the Israelites damn near now. You rock fringes, everybody know, okay, you're an Israelite, you're a Hebrew. Now you got this second, first, second, third generation coming out that are the descendants of these forerunners of this faith and of this knowledge, and then you got their kids not following their footsteps. And why are they not following the parents' footsteps? They're wasting. They don't see the good in what their father's doing. You got some kids that are wasting an opportunity. Here it is, your father follows the laws to the best of his ability, tries to be a righteous man, cares about righteousness and doing things fair, equitable, trying to be a good father, good parent, good leader. Same thing with your mother. She's trying to follow the commandments. She's sewing. She's going to class. She's doing whatever the sisters need her to do. She's available to the body. She's available to the camp. You got a husband who's making himself available to the camp. But then you have these children that are going to waste this opportunity. and you wonder why they're evil. Because you know what? They don't see the good in what their parents are providing them. And that's what happens why you got some cases where you got children that don't come out right. It's not that the parents didn't do the best they could. Sometimes it's the children. Sometimes it's the kids, man. They don't see, oh, you know what, my father actually is a good man. You know how many brothers and sisters that you have to convince them that their father did the best they could? Even without the knowledge of the truth. You know how many conversations, counsels that we've had where we had to convince men to change their perspective on their father? Man, why are you looking at your father? He didn't have this knowledge. He didn't have the Bible, and he still put you through college.
Years of counsel.
He still worked 2 jobs. You didn't grow up in the projects in the ghetto. Damn, you didn't have a piss poor lifestyle and neglected and sent off to some orphanages. You didn't live like that. Or your father was single, or your mother was single, and you just can't see the good in your father working his butt off being a single father or a single mother. It's not just the fathers, mothers and fathers. Because if you read on in that verse 26.
Says, he that wasteth his father and chaseth away his mother.
Because you know, it ain't just your father, it's your mother too. Now your mother don't want nothing to do with you. Read on.
Is a son that causeth shame.
He bringing shame to where?
To the
house, man. Because you just couldn't see the good in their efforts. They didn't necessarily, some of our parents didn't have this knowledge. They was raised however they were raised. But you know what we can't do? We can't pick apart nothing good about them to say, you know what, he tried. Although my mother had a multitude of children, she was working hard, she had 2 jobs, and she was trying. We ate every day. We had food, we had clothes. Maybe we had to share the bedroom. Maybe we had to share the same bed. So what? She was trying.
Right.
But you got so many children that can't see the good in what their parents was trying to lay down.
Ungrateful.
It's ungrateful. So they never want to pick up the instructions of their parents. And a lot of that instruction is passing this next generation right by. You're going to have a lot of this young generation that's going to make a lot of dumbass mistakes because they didn't want to follow after their father and mother.
I'll take that change serious.
Or they're going to learn the hard way. They said they're going to be ashamed to what?
It says, is a son that causeth shame.
You know why you call shame? Because you was too busy challenging your father. You was too busy trying to tell your father what to do.
Right.
And you ain't even built nothing for your damn self.
Right.
You're unproven.
Yeah, you ain't did nothing.
Very unproven.
You ain't did you have not excelled or obtained half the things that your father obtained, but you got an opinion about what your father should do and how he should be as a man. Or I got an opinion. I'm a daughter, but I got an opinion about what kind of woman my mother is. You ain't been through half what she's been through.
Right.
And fought you weren't alive in the 60s when your ass had to come through the back of the store. You get beat for drinking some water out of a water fountain. You don't even know what that means. You got leisure and liberty. You ain't got to move off the side of the street or not worried about not having a job because you couldn't get a job because you scared to put Hispanic or black on an application. You don't know. This young generation don't know crap about what our parents went through, but I can never see the good in them. He said that child that can't see the good in his parents, and just like we reading about Samuel's kids, you got one of the best damn fathers you could have on a damn planet, and you care about money, and you trying to get over on somebody. You never picked up nothing that your father laid down. That's a damn shame. And that child's gonna be ashamed. Read on.
It says, "Is a son that causeth shame and bringeth reproach."
And bringeth reproach. You stain the name of your parents.
Disrespecting the parents' name. Huh?
You slander the household name because your pride.
Kind of ruining like their reputation.
Of course. You got bad kids. Everybody talking about, oh man, here come his kids.
That's the reproach, right?
Yeah, here come his kids. Here come his kids.
Oh my Lord.
Wait till you see this.
Finna get some reports out.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
The reports are coming.
You know what's coming. You know why? Because everybody don't follow their fathers and mothers' footsteps. They don't see because they don't see the good in them, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous for the young generation to bypass and overlook the qualities of their mothers and the qualities of their father, especially when they ain't trying to do right by the Most High. You got to be a clown to not look at your father in a good light when he reads the Bible on a regular and he tries to commit himself to the law, statutes, and commandments on a regular basis.
More than 90% of parents in the world.
Yeah. Ecclesiastes, let that go in Proverbs. Ecclesiastes 26 and 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 13.
Read that.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
Now, because you didn't care about your mother too much, you didn't pick up nothing from your mom. You didn't see none of her good attributes. You didn't see none of the good she was working for and trying to do and establish the household to keep it going.
Cardi B finna teach you.
Yeah, you didn't see none of it.
Come.
It said the grace of a wife does what?
Delighteth her husband.
Go ahead.
And her discretion.
And her what? Oh, wait a minute. Her what?
And her discretion.
Oh, we back at discretion
No.
again.
It matters.
It matters, man. Discretion matters. Man.
Discretion matters.
It says, which is prudence or knowledge, that discernment which enables a person to judge critically of what is correct and proper,
Wow.
united with caution and nice discernment and judgment.
Wow.
So it says her discretion does what?
Her discretion will fatten his bones.
So you have a lot to say about what your mother didn't do and what your mother is not. But your mother's been married for 35, 40 years. You're on your third relationship. You're on your fifth marriage. But you have an opinion about the woman who's been married consistently for 30, 40 years. They about to go on a cruise because they on their reunion. You got something to say about what they didn't do right, but you can't do right. You can't match her discretion to keep a relationship going. That's how you know it's pride. You can't even build a household. And here she is with the kids, all of them grown, out the house. She kissing grandbabies, but you got something to say about her. But you asking her to watch your babies.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But got an opinion.
But you got an opinion.
Or you living in her house.
Oh, you living in her house. You're back at mom's house.
And you still arguing.
Yeah, still got an opinion.
You in
crazy.
shape, but she's fat.
Yeah, she fat.
She got it all together.
Oh man, I like what you say. Oh, that'd be that competition right there. Hold on, Proverbs 11 and 22. I like what you said right there. Proverbs 11 and 22. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 22.
Because you know what? You're right. People do look at this. You know, she out of shape. She ain't. She need to get back in the gym. She need to do something with herself. She ain't looking right. Yeah, because you in your youth, you in your strength. Yeah, your body ain't sagging and stretched out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But you know what? You got an opinion about your mother. But check it out. Read this right here.
Page 317 in the blue book.
Blue book. The blue book. What book you got? Oh, okay. Go ahead. Read on.
Come.
Scared me. I see the
That's like
Josephus.
scared me that you got
Yeah, I see the Josephus right there. Read on.
I got a whole bunch of books.
Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 22 reads, as a jewel of gold.
Yeah, you might be prettier than your mother. It said, but as a jewel of gold, go ahead.
In a swine's snout.
Yeah, like a pig with a nose ring. Go ahead.
So is a fair woman.
Yeah, you might be prettier than your mother on the physical. Just because you're prettier than her on the physical, you didn't pick up her discretion. You don't have half the discretion she possesses. You don't have half of what it takes to make a marriage work and to raise a household. And it's the same thing with a man. You might be in your prime and your strength. You might look better than your mother. She ain't got it like she used to. But you know what? Her hair falling out a little bit. She got to rock the wigs every now and then. But you rocking the lace front wig anyway. Read on.
Crazy.
As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion.
Uh-oh. But you don't got no discretion though. She know what it take to keep a marriage and to run a household. You on your fifth marriage. But you got an opinion. Because you look prettier. Because you're in shape. Because you got people hitting you up. But can you make a relationship work? No, you can't. Because you don't have no discretion. See, this is what happens when people waste their parents. When I should have been looking at the wisdom that my parents was giving me versus looking at the status or what they didn't have.
Or comparing them to celebrities.
Comparing them to what they didn't, or comparing them to what my other friends' parents do for them versus what my parents don't do for me. When I should have been following. That's how I waste my parents. I got an opinion and I should have been following. Go ahead.
My father pull up a precept.
What verse is it?
It's Proverbs 12 and 18.
What does it say?
It says, "Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored."
Okay, that's okay. But you know what? I didn't see the good in my parents. So although I may be prettier, although I might be, more in shape, my physique is better, but that doesn't mean that don't mean you are better. See, the scriptures say the wickedness of it. When we get that in Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and 17, don't mean you're better than your parents. I'm too busy thinking I'm better than my parents. You're not even on your parents' level.
Page 85 in the Apocrypha. Page 85 in the Apocrypha.
Ecclesiasticus 25 and 17. The wickedness of a woman
Go ahead.
changeth her face,
Yeah, you might be looking better than your mother, but guess what? Go ahead.
and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
Yeah, but you know what? That beauty is turned to sackcloth. Because with all that beauty, with no discretion, you look like a hamburger. You ain't all that cute. Yeah. And a lot of people think because I got the looks, then I should have honor. I should have the esteem. What is all that looks worth when you don't have no discretion? You don't know how to keep a man happy. You don't know how to follow instructions at home. Like your mother know how to cook and clean for her husband, your dad. But you got an opinion. But you don't know how to follow. You don't know how to make it work, but you got something to say. Because you're prettier. That don't make no damn sense. But people will use a lot of different ill judgment. They lack discretion, so their judgment is poor. Because I have piss poor judgment, I don't know how to follow somebody that's doing something right, the right way for a long period of time. And it's maintaining. Just like we read about Samuel's sons. You read about Samuel's sons as being men that had an opportunity to be just like their father. And their father was passing down the government to them. But guess what? I didn't see the good in my father. That was a horrible mistake. Horrible mistake. Now back to finish that part in Genesis 41. Finish that last part. I want you to read Genesis 41 and read verse 33 and 34 one more time.
Come. Page 22 in the blue book. Page 22 in the blue book. Verse 33. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 33 reads, "Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7th plenteous year."
Now keep in mind, Joseph was thrown in a pit by his brothers. He had been in Egypt for how long? Since he was what, 17 years old? Where was his parents at?
In Israel, right?
Yeah, he was his father was 7.
It was like,
Long before
13 years.
He was about 13 to 17 years old. My
No,
point.
he was in Egypt for 13.
Yeah, but he was 17, so he was about 30 when he
was
was
like 31.
when the Most High
somewhere
elevated.
around there.
So
30.
that means that this man was without his parents.
Yeah.
That man was having to do this on his own. He was in a foreign land having to function on his own. And when you go to Proverbs 2 and 11, read that real quick. What was keeping Joseph afloat being without parents? Because some of us didn't have parents. And if you didn't have parents, so what? That doesn't dictate your future. Because a lot of us would use the excuse, well, I didn't have my parents. So I didn't have nothing to follow. I didn't have nobody to follow. I didn't have a mother and a father there. They both were gone. They were out of my life. Well, guess what? Proverbs 2:11 says what?
Proverbs chapter 2, verse 11.
You gotta speak over here close to the mic, camera.
Page 313 in the blue book.
Read it.
Page 313.
I don't think nobody even got the blue book. Go ahead, read it.
Discretion shall preserve thee.
Oh, wait a minute. It says what's gonna keep you if you ain't got no parents? What you gonna use to preserve you if you don't have parents?
Discretion shall preserve thee.
So you better if you don't have parents and you didn't have parents to raise you up, then you better acquire what?
Discretion.
You better get some discretion. Because discretion is what's going to preserve you if your parents didn't give it to you. You didn't get discretion because you should have been getting it from your parents. But if you didn't get it, then you better get it now. It says discretion shall preserve thee. Read on.
Understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things.
And that's what's going to keep you safe. And that's what kept Joseph safe, even though he was thrown in the ditch. You know what he didn't lose being in the dungeon? He didn't lose his discretion.
Wow.
That's what he had.
He didn't lose that.
He didn't lose. He never lost his discretion, even though he came from out the dungeon. Because it said, "Discretion shall preserve thee." He was still appropriate about how he spoke and how he behaved. Because a lot of us will use the excuse, "Well, I didn't have a father, that's why I act like this." Well, I didn't have a father or mother, that's why I talk like this. That's why I behave like this, because I didn't have a mother or father. That's an excuse.
That's the credit card.
Yeah, that's the credit card for crazy.
Yep.
So when I want to be crazy, I can say I didn't have a father. I want to say I didn't have a mother. I didn't have nobody to teach me and raise me up. Well, guess what? You should have been getting discretion. Yes, sir.
That's actually a very popular and even rap songs that I listen to a lot. Is I didn't have a dad, or I didn't have him, or whatever it may be. So this is why I turned out the way I did.
That's always the excuse.
When a youth listens to that, then they pick that up, and it gives them credit to go ahead and do whatever they want to do.
That gives them leeway and like you said, opportunity to sin, because I can say nobody was there for me. Nobody cared about me. Nobody was there for me. So this is the reason why I am the way I am. That's for those that didn't have the parents. But you know what? But you still don't lose your discretion. See, a lot of times people say, "Well, there's no reason for me to do good. I might as well do what everybody else is doing. I might as well follow the masses. I might as well fall in line and get in where I fit in." Mm-hmm. Because you know what? I'm a lost cause. Nobody cared enough about me. But you know what? They didn't care about that. This is when, if that's the case, then I should be calling on the Most High. Go to Psalms 28. Somebody read that. Psalms 28, verse 1. Start at verse 1.
Let's go.
Let that go.
Psalms chapter 28 and verse 1. Whenever you're ready.
Read that.
Come on.
Just read the whole thing. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 28 and verse 1. Unto thee will I cry.
So you know what? If you ain't got no parents, who should be crying to?
It should be the Most High, right?
You should be crying to the Most High. If you're gonna say, "Well, I didn't have no dad. I didn't have no mom. Nobody cared about me. I came out the orphans. I came out the streets. The streets raised me." Yeah, all that bunch of excuses. You should still be crying to who? The Most High. Because everybody got a story. Everybody got a story that says how they were dealt with, or they had come. Shit, we all came out the curses.
Yep.
Something went wrong. Something went wrong. Read on.
Unto thee will I cry.
Go ahead. So if I don't have parents, I should be crying to the Most High. Read on.
O Lord, my rock.
Then if I can't depend on my parents, I depend on who?
The Most High.
But you got parents. And you still don't value your parents. And you still don't learn their instruction and their discretion. That's the sad part. Some of us have parents and didn't pick up nothing from them.
No virtues.
No virtue from them. You mean to tell me they had nothing to give me? Read on.
18 years.
Yeah.
18 years. Damn, they got.
Ain't nothing but a hard time. It's a hard night life for us. Read on.
Be not silent to me.
Listen, hear me, Lord. That's what if you ain't have no parents. Read on.
Lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit.
Wasn't Joseph in the pit? Didn't the Most High raise him up out the pit and put a gold ring on his finger and a gold chain on his neck and linen garments and a chariot and made people bow down to Joseph? Read on.
Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee.
Read on down. Read on down.
When I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity.
So I should be begging the Most High to spare me. Read on.
Which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Give them according to their deeds, and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert, because they regard not the works of the Most High.
So even if I didn't have parents, I should be regarding the works of the Most High. That should be on my mind. If I had bad parents or no parents, the works of the Most High should be on my mind. Gaining his discretion, which shall preserve me. Read on.
Nor the operation of his hands. He shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be the Most High.
Blessed be the Most High. Read on.
Because he hath heard the voice of my supplication.
So all that, if I ain't got no parents, I should be praying. I should be reaching out and praying and asking the Most High to step into my life and raise me up. No excuses.
That's
Read on.
It's true.
Yeah, there's no excuses.
Discretion matters, and not making excuses matters.
Ain't no excuses. A lot of people want people to believe that my life is special, and I had such a difficulty that, you should give me a pass for being evil. You should give me a pass for being out of order. You should give me a pass for being unruly. You ain't getting no pass for being unruly. Ain't no passes, ain't no credit cards for being unruly. There's no licenses for sin. Nobody has that excuse. You didn't get what you get when you should have got it, when your parents was trying to give it to you, then you should get it now as an adult. Read on.
The Most High is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him.
Read on.
The Most High is their strength.
So if I don't have parents, I put my faith in the Most High. I put my trust in the Most High. Read on.
And he is the saving strength of his anointed.
It says the Most High is the saving strength of his anointed. Read on.
Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also.
He said do what?
Feed them also.
But how? Go ahead.
And lift them up forever.
Now somebody read Isaiah 28. And let's read how the Most High feeds us and lifts us up. How the Most High preserves us with discretion. Somebody get Isaiah 28 verse 24.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 24. Doth the plowman plow all day to sow?
He's asking a question. It says, doth the plowman plow all day to sow? So what is the purpose of the plowman turning over the soil?
To break down the ground.
To break up the ground to do what?
Plant.
To plant, to sow. So the answer to that question is what?
Yeah. God.
Does
Is he doing that just to do something?
For no reason, he ain't doing it for nothing.
He ain't doing it for no reason, bro. The plowman is plowing the ground for a purpose. I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for fun.
No.
I don't know if anybody tilled ground before.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, I'm even saying with a tiller. I rented a tiller one time, and you still have to lift up the tiller.
I had a hoe.
A hoe, a tiller. You know what? You still got it with an engine on it. You think it's gonna be easier? I got a motor on it. Well, guess what? That motor comes with some weight. That motor comes with some weight, and then when you lift it up, and you got the handles, you got the brake, and then you got the gas. You lift the tiller up, you hit the gas, the tiller spins and start turning the ground over. You hit a rock, guess what? You got to stop. You got to put the tiller down. You got to dig up the rock. Then you got to go back and lift the tiller up, and it takes 30 minutes to go 2 feet.
Wow. So it's extreme labor.
It's extreme labor. Even with the tiller, even with a machine, it's still hard work.
It's physically intensive. It's time.
Well, let me say this. I didn't have the one that you could drive. I had the one that you got to lift by hand.
Well, you can drive.
Yeah, if I had the one you could drive, it might have been a little bit better. Either way, it still worked. But you don't do that for fun. That's not for fun.
That's how we get down.
Yeah, we finna go hoop today until the ground. You ain't gonna look for rocks for fun, bro. Read on.
Doth he open and break the clods of his ground?
Yeah, that damn dirt be hard as hell. Read on.
When he hath made plain,
Especially when you got caliche and limestone and rocks. That dirt ain't moving. Read on.
when he hath made plain the face thereof,
It said after it's broken up. Read on.
doth he not cast abroad the fitches,
They only cast about the fitches. What else?
and scatter the cumin?
And scatter the cumin. After he did all that work, don't he go and plant the seed? Now it's time to fulfill the purpose of all his labor. Read on.
And cast in the principal wheat, and appointed barley, and the rye
It
in
says,
their place.
and appointed barley, right? Meaning he knew the season. He knew this is the season. If I want to yield this particular crop, this is the season that I put forth this type of effort. Read on.
And the rye in their place. For his power doth instruct him to discretion.
Oh, it says, because who's given this man the discretion to know when to plant?
The Most High.
The Most High. So I can put some work in, but if I don't know when to sow the seed, if my timing is off, then I'm not going to yield anything. That means that all my labor is in vain. I did all this work for nothing. That means you could work your ass off, and if you don't have discretion, then you're going to work in vain. Because all your timing will be off. Everything you do is off. You're going to work in vain. That means you're going to work hard as hell for nothing. Because this is what you lack. Because the Most High said he give this man discretion. It said for him, it says for his power doth instruct him to discretion. Read on.
And doth teach him.
And does what?
Doth teach him.
And teaches him what? This is the time that you put the seed down. See, a lot of men work hard, but their timing is so off because they lack discretion that the plan blows up in their face. All their labor's in vain.
Who blows the plan up?
Yeah, I wonder who. The proud. Somebody that's proud. Somebody that vaunts themselves, that depends on their own opinion.
Mr. Arrogance?
All their plans fall flat on their back. They never manifest what they work for.
Like a cartoon. He said, what's the Coyote?
Yeah.
He always has some plan from Acme. Act never works.
He always got dynamite sticks. He got the anvil dropping off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? He missed it and hit a damn gas tank and it blew himself up.
God.
You know,
That's how not blessing.
It don't bless it. Huh? All your work is in vain if you don't use discretion. If you don't let the Most High, allow the Most High to teach you discretion. All your work is in vain. For nothing. You better put yourself in a posture of receiving instruction.
Yeah.
You better let somebody teach you. Obviously, you didn't get it from your parents. And if you had bad parents, then, hey, you better go back and seek out the Most High.
For yourself.
For yourself. Because it's either way. I still have a responsibility. Even if I didn't get what I was supposed to get from my parents, I have a responsibility. Read on. Somebody else read that.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 26 reads, For his power doeth instruct him to discretion, and doeth teach him. For the fitches are not threshed with a threshing instrument.
Because you know what? If you don't have discretion, you could try and try and try and work and work and work, and nothing will happen. And you wonder why there's failure upon failure upon failure upon failure. Because there's a certain way that things should be done. There's an appropriate way that things should be done. What he's telling you is that if you don't understand what's appropriate, you have to understand the definition of discretion. We read it earlier. What was the definition of discretion? Somebody wrote it down, I hope.
It says prudence or knowledge.
It says prudence or knowledge and what?
And prudence that discriminate, which enables a person.
Discernment enables a person to do what?
To judge critically.
To judge critically. That means without critical judgment. That means I can work all day and I can come up empty-handed. That means I can establish a relationship and the relationship comes to nothing. Because I don't know how to critically judge my relationship. I don't know how to critically handle myself within this relationship as the instrument of the Most High being used to raise up a household or a family or a union. True. You need somebody to teach you how to critically think. And because people don't know how to critically think, They don't have the power of what discretion yields. They make bad decision on top of bad decision on top of bad decision. Like he says, you don't thresh. He said, that's what he says. Read verse 27.
God. For the fitches are not threshed with a threshing instrument.
Whatever the hell fitches are, you're not supposed to use a threshing instrument for fitches. That means there's a certain way that you extract the seed out of the fitch. Somebody give a definition of fitches. Whatever the hell them fitches are. No, that's a finch.
Oh, fish?
Finch.
There's finch. A finch is a bird, but these are fitches. Rick, what's the definition of fitches?
A chickpea.
A chickpea. He said you don't hit the chickpea with the threshing stick. He said the chickpea is delicate then. Obviously you might have to pick that apart by hand.
Oh, wow.
You don't use an instrument for this is what people do. What he's showing you is how people operate in their life. They use the wrong instruments for their situations. And this is why nothing grows.
That's pride.
It's pride. You know what you don't do? You whoop your kids. You don't beat your woman.
No.
You don't use an instrument for the fitches.
Yeah.
For the chickpeas, your woman's the chickpea. And you wonder why she don't want to be with you.
I don't know what she was really running from.
I don't know what her problem is.
I thought we had some love going on. I love to get beat.
Yeah, love. What kind of love? I didn't ran her off because I'm using the wrong instrument. I should have been using the Bible.
I command you to love me.
Yeah, but I'm using the wrong instrument for my marriage because I have no discretion. I didn't get it from my parents. I didn't learn it growing up, and I didn't pursue it for myself. And I'm using the wrong instrument for my marriage, and I wonder why it's not working. He said, "You don't use an instrument for the chickpea, for the fitches.
That's like going to gas and putting the
wrong gas.
Yeah.
Put some diesel in your gas tank
And see what happens.
I've done it already. and I put regular gas in a diesel tank.
Oh, how'd that work?
It cost me $200 for one to get it towed to the shop, and then it cost $800 for the mechanics to suck it back out, to drain it out the bottom and put some new gas in it, and they had to change all the oil filters and the gas filters.
Wow.
So that was $1,000. That was $1,000 problem. I tell you what, I did it 2 times.
So that was 2 grand.
I tell you this, the second time I went to Academy and I bought some gas tanks and a siphon, and I sucked that gas out myself. I wasn't spending no $800. I literally bought the siphon, and who was that with me and Yeshaya? Yeshaya, you was with me?
God.
We sucked that gas out, took about an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we was stuck for about 2 hours.
That's about an hour you saved.
You know what I was doing? You know why I did that? Because I was on the phone, not paying attention while I was pumping the damn gas. I wasn't paying attention. I'm pumping the gas, talking on the phone, and I realized, damn, I put the wrong gas in the truck. I said, man, I ain't paying no $800. I'm finna go suck this gas out. But you know why? I'm using the wrong instrument. That's how people do in their life. They use the wrong instruments in their life, but they expect success. But they do everything wrong. Yeah, you do everything wrong, no discretion, but you expect success. Using the wrong tools, you talking to people crazy, you putting your hands on people.
The marriage ain't growing.
Yeah, it's a wonder why the marriage ain't growing. Yeah, you gonna beat it to grow? He's obviously showing the fitches are delicate. The chickpeas are delicate. You can bruise them, you can damage them, smash them, whatever. Read on.
God, for the fitches are not threshed with a threshing instrument.
Read on.
Neither is a cart wheel turned about upon the cunning.
It said, and you don't put no damn wheels from no damn animals on the cumin. What is he showing you? You can crush the cumin seed. Yeah, that means that the cumin seed don't need to be rolled over by no damn ox-driven cart. Read on.
God, but the fitches are beaten out with a staff.
He said, but you beat the fitches out with a staff. Read on.
And the cumin with a rod.
And the cumin with a rod. Read on.
And the cumin with the rod. Bread corn is bruised.
It said, and if you're not careful, the bread corn is what?
Bruised.
Read on.
Because he will not ever be threshing it.
Go ahead.
Nor break it with the wheel of his cart. Nor bruise it with his horsemen.
He's showing you that you could try to plow, plant, and yield something, but if you don't have discretion on how to do it appropriately, if you're inappropriate in your doings and your actions, all you're doing is going backwards. you're going in reverse. Instead of building and planting and growing, you're actually destroying. You're breaking down, and you're dissolving what's supposed to be yielding something positive.
No discretion.
Because I don't have discretion. That means what should have been a relationship that should have been full of love and happiness and laughter and joy and time well spent is full of arguments, strife, fighting, contention, sadness, police, tickets, domestic disputes, drama, confusion. Because you know what I didn't do? I didn't let nobody show me how to make a marriage. I'm using the wrong instrument for the wrong damn seed, for the wrong purpose. What he's showing you is many people do this. Many people are inappropriate in their dealings, and they wonder why their life isn't where they should be. Because you're inappropriate. Because you don't have any discretion. What you lack is the problem. That's why the Most High said what? My people are destroyed for what?
For the lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. Because I don't know how to yield nothing. But I got an opinion though. I got an idea about the way things should be in my brain, but I don't know how to make it work. Because I'm using the wrong tools, using the wrong instruments, and I'm out of season. Read on.
Come. Verse 29. This also cometh forth from the Lord of hosts.
That ability to make your labor not in vain, you could work, but it'll still be in vain. But that ability to not make it in vain comes from who?
From the Lord.
And that's why you go from person to person, relationship to relationship, marriage to marriage, and I can't get it right. You know why? Because you never sought the Most High's discretion on how to make it work. You have a man-made way of building something, making something happen. And that's why it always fails. Because you don't trust the Most High enough. You don't trust the Most High enough to make it work. Go to Jeremiah 3:15 real quick. Somebody else. And finish that, Mawala, in verse 29. Finish that in 29.
God. Verse 29.
Somebody else read Jeremiah 3:15. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 29 reads.
Read on.
This also cometh forth from the Lord of hosts.
Read on. The ability to do something correctly, that comes from the Most High. Not your way of doing something. Too many people trust their way of doing something. And that's why it don't work. That's why your plans fail. Read on.
Which is wonderful in counsel.
It says, this also coming from the Most High, which is what?
Wonderful in counsel.
But why those people's lifestyle don't work and what they build don't work?
They don't follow counsel.
Because they don't go get counsel. They do things their way. And that's why it always fails. People that only trust their mind, they only thought their opinion, and they only possess their thought process, they only promote their way of doing things, that always falls flat. And they don't understand it. They don't get no counsel. Read on.
God, which is wonderful in counsel and excellent in working.
The Most High is the work master, bro. The Most High can show you how to build anything. He's the work master. He's the master builder.
Right, that's true.
Why wouldn't you get counsel on making something work? And why would you trust your own way? And you've never been a master builder. Everything you built failed, collapsed. It didn't work. And you still holding on to your pride? Jeremiah 3:15.
Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart.
It said that's why the Most High said, stop doing things your way. I'll give you pastors according to what?
According to mine heart.
Go ahead.
Which shall feed you.
And what should they feed you?
With knowledge and understanding.
But you don't listen to the Most High's pastors.
You got your own knowledge.
You got your own knowledge.
And your understanding.
Got your own understanding. Can't be told nothing. It's a lot of men that can't make anything work. And what they do have is holding on by a string. And they still don't want to listen. That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's like Pharaoh, bro.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's society wasn't working out. He's still hard-headed out.
Still had a hard heart. He said, the Most High said, I'll give you pastors and teachers, what?
According to mine heart.
That'll come from my perspective, not your perspective. Your perspective don't work. Read on.
Which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Galatians 4:1 says what? Somebody else read Hebrews 13 and 17.
13 and 17 first?
Yeah. No. Galatians 4:1. Read that.
Galatians?
Somebody, no, you got it. Go ahead, read Galatians 4:1.
I got it.
Got it. Read it.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 1 reads,
Read that.
Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child,
Read on.
differeth nothing from a servant,
Go ahead.
though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors.
He's under what?
Tutors and governors.
That's why the Most High gave you teachers, pastors and teachers that shall feed you according to his heart. That's why the Most High put you under tutors and governors. What do you think the pastors and the teachers are for? What do you think the tutors and the governors are for? A tutor is somebody that daily shows you what the procedures should be on a daily basis. A governor oversees your overall development over time. The Most High put you with people to walk you daily, a daily guide to help you get through what you're going through, and he gave you somebody to oversee the curriculum for the overall development, for the short term and the long term, and you deny both of them. You got people that do things their way and wonder why there's always a collapse, and there's always drama at the end of the road, because you don't follow the pastors and teachers, and you don't follow the governors and tutors. Read on.
Verse 2, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father.
And a lot of people, they want to predict their own time where they feel like, I'm on a level, I can do this by myself. People try to, that's why that timing be so off. People like to dictate the timing where I don't have to listen to somebody anymore. I don't have to follow instructions anymore. I can do me. I've learned enough to where I can do me and make my own decisions. I don't need counsel. I'm the counselor. Crazy. Read Hebrews 13 and 17.
Hebrews 13.
We're reading this because all of these scriptures are showing that you need oversight. You constantly need oversight. And if you don't think you need oversight, then time will tell.
Time will prove it.
Time will prove it.
Time will prove if your counsel and your decisions were wise.
Right. Read that. Hebrews 13 and 17.
Hebrews 13 and 17. Obey them that have the rule over you.
That's why it says, obey them that have what?
That have the rule over you.
You got pastors and teachers, you got tutors and governors, and you got rulers and overseers. What is all these scriptures showing? You need a guide. You need instruction. You need counsel. You need somebody telling you what to do next. You don't need to trust yourself. Because every time you do you fail. And a lot of people ain't figured that out yet. They work. A lot of people work their ass off and get nowhere. Read on.
Obey them that have the rule over you.
Read on.
And submit yourself.
And do what?
And submit yourself.
That's what's missing, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's missing.
Missing ingredient, huh?
That's what's missing, bro. I don't submit. I gotta do things my way. I have to do things my way. And that's the problem. Read on.
For they watch for your souls.
You got somebody that's a governor, teacher, pastor, leader, elders, overseers that are looking out for your what?
For your soul.
First it was your parents. Didn't see the good in them. I wasted them. Didn't see the good in them. Now the Most High said, okay, if you didn't get it, at home, I still got somebody set up to help you out.
I'll give you spiritual fathers.
I'm going to still give you spiritual fathers. And guess where you're supposed to be getting this discretion from? The spiritual fathers. Pastors, teachers, tutors, governors, and leaders. Because I didn't get it at home. Because I wasted that opportunity at home. I didn't see the good in my mother. What she had to say. I didn't see the good in my father, what he was trying to teach me. I had to go experience it myself. And that's okay. A lot of people do. And a lot of people learn the hard way. You just come back with a lot of broken stories, a lot of bad stories.
Yeah.
That's all you come. More heartbreak, less trust, more distrust, and a lot of bad stories. They said they watch for your soul. Read on.
For they watch for your souls, as they that must give account.
Because they're being responsible for you. Your parents was once responsible for you. You didn't see the good in them. Now you got pastors and teachers, and you're still not listening to them, because guess what? You don't see the good in them either. Let that go and go back to that. Read the entire definition of discretion. Get that entire definition of discretion.
It says prudence or knowledge.
You got to speak up though.
I'm sorry, prudence or knowledge. And prudence, that's discernment, which enables a person to judge critically of what is correct and proper, united with caution. Nice. Discernment and judgment directed by circumspection.
It's directed by what?
Circumspection.
So what are you using? Okay, let me slow it down so just some of us wasn't here in the beginning. That definition of prudence, or discretion. Prudence or knowledge, that discernment, knowing how to make good and bad decisions, which enables a person to judge critically of what is correct and proper, united with caution, nice discernment and judgment. It says directed by circumspection. Circumspection means I'm aware of on all sides of what I say and what I do. That means I'm conscious about what I say and what I do. I'm conscious about my actions. I'm conscious about my speech. He says directed by circumcision, or circumspection, and what else is?
Sorry about that. Circumspection. And it says, and primarily regarding one's own conduct.
Now, it says primarily regarding one's own conduct. So that means that you're more careful not about what other people say and do, but about who?
My own conduct.
About what you say and do. That means that if I'm using discretion, I'm using discernment that gives me the ability to know that what I'm saying is right, proper, appropriate, aesthetically pleasing, or it's having a bad effect. I know this.
So I can't use the excuse, well, the reason why I went off is because you went off, or the reason why I decided to be out of order or be disrespectful to you is because you were disrespectful.
Right. It's not about what other people do. It's about what you do. It's not the effect that other people have on you. It's about how do you govern yourself. How do you govern your own thoughts? 1 Corinthians 11:31. Read that.
First Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 31. For if we would judge ourselves,
It said if we do what?
if we would judge ourselves,
That's what being a critical thinker is, using discretion. You're judging yourself. You're monitoring using directed by circumspection. I'm careful and I'm cautious about what I say and do. I'm careful about me. I'm conscious about myself. There's a lot of people, male and female, that are unconscious about their actions and their words because they're absent of discretion. Read it again.
For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged.
It said you don't gotta worry about somebody coming at you if you monitor your damn self.
People are always judging me.
Yeah. They're judging you, or somebody else's fault, or why this person look at me this way or talk to me this way. Worry about your damn self. Worry about you. Are you in order? Do you have the appropriate thought process? Why are you too busy looking at everybody else around you and all the external stimulus?
Yeah.
Because I'm responding, I'm reactionary to what everybody's saying to me. But what about you?
I am free from all accounts.
Yeah.
All accounts. I'm an account. I don't have to be accountant. Let me deflect my whole life.
Yep. Let that go and go to 1 Corinthians. Stay in 1 Corinthians 9:27. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 27.
Read that.
But I keep under my body.
You know what Paul is saying? Paul is saying what when he says I keep under my body? What does he mean?
Control.
I keep myself under control. I keep my thoughts under control. I keep my actions under control. I keep my words under control. That's what Paul is saying when he says I keep under my body. He says I'm always maintaining control of my speech and my actions and the effect that they have. Read on.
And bring it into subjection.
And it says I bring my mind and my thoughts, my behavior into what?
subjection.
Let that go. And go to Ecclesiastes 31 and 15. How do you know when a man or woman is doing what Paul says? How do you know when a man or woman is doing exactly what Paul is saying right here? How do you know when a man or woman is possesses discretion? Read that.
Ecclesiasticus 31 and 15. Judge of thy neighbor by thyself.
It says, judge thy neighbor by what?
By thyself.
It says,
judge not, right?
Read it again.
Ecclesiasticus 31 and 15. Judge of thy neighbor by thyself.
Go ahead.
And be discreet in every point.
It says, and be what?
And be discreet in every point.
And be discreet in every point. What does that mean?
Okay. This is a typo. Thank you. Wow.
The individual, your judgment.
You got not.
I have not. Yeah.
You got not in the electric.
It's yeah, and then my app. I run into that once in a while.
No, it's
is it judge not or judge?
No,
of?
no. It
judge of.
It says judge of thy neighbor, but in the electric apocrypha it says judge not of thy neighbor by thyself.
It says judge not thy neighbor is what I have, so that's
right.
wrong, huh?
No, we sticking to this one right here, but I've actually seen misprint. You know what I'm saying? So just it could be a misprint or typo, but either way. Whether it says judge not of thy neighbor by thyself means what? That means
mine says judge not thy neighbor, and he says judge of thy neighbor.
Right.
I'm thinking that's totally opposite.
It is.
So that I could be getting thrown off here.
You can.
Both make sense.
But if you look at both of them, either way, what is it showing you? When he says judge, if it says judge not of thy neighbor by thyself, that means that I get a second opinion when I'm looking at somebody.
Confirmation.
That means that I don't depend on my opinion. If I go off the electronic apocrypha, and it says judge not of thy neighbor by thyself, that means I don't.
It just says judge not of.
Or it just says judge not
thy neighbor. That's
thyself.
what I have. So
right.
I have the wrong.
It doesn't matter if it's wrong. It's still clear.
Yeah.
You know the clarity is?
Yeah.
The clarity is what? I don't trust me. I don't trust me. I don't trust my opinion.
Gotcha.
So that means that I do what? I bring somebody in before I make a bold declaration, or before I make a bold judgment or pass judgment on somebody,
right.
or make a decision on how to treat somebody or talk to somebody. I bring somebody in to assist me in my perspective. That means I don't trust my perspective.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's what Proverbs says.
And that's what being discreet is. Somebody give me the definition of discreet. Because it says be discreet in every point. That means I'm careful when I'm judging my neighbor. Whether I'm doing it by myself or with somebody else, I'm still careful. Because sometimes you have to make a decision when there's nobody to get a second opinion. So you still got to know how to use discretion.
Yeah.
You still got to know how to be discreet. Get the definition of discreet.
Discreet, prudent, wise in avoiding errors or evil.
I still got to make sure that I'm not going to make a mistake when I'm looking or dealing with people. When I'm interacting with people, I'm careful not to make a mistake. Read on.
And in selecting the best means to accomplish a purpose.
And I'm choosing the best means. That means that a person that's using discretion, I have a wealth or a bank of options in my mind to as a way of talking to people. That means I'm not one-dimensional. Being one-dimensional is I only talk to you based on how you make me feel. And that's how I respond to you. And that's how I treat you. Or I only talk to you or treat you based on how I feel, not how you made me feel, but how my day is going so far. If I'm having a bad day, then I treat you like I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
I'm one-dimensional.
Take it out on somebody else.
I'm going to take it out on somebody else because I'm not feeling great. I'm not doing great. So you know what that means? That means that if I'm a person that's using discretion, that means I got a utility belt full of options as a way to answer you. That means I don't got to answer you according to your agitation. I don't have to answer you according to your confusion. That means I can say, you know what? This person, I can say to myself with a choice, man, this person tripping. So, you know what? Let me go ahead and calm this down and spit on this fire that's about to happen. Let me blow on this spark. Let me not blow on this spark and make a fire out of this situation.
You're not feeding the spirit.
I'm not going to feed into what this person is trying to get me to feed into. The scripture says soft answer turneth away wrath.
Yeah. Right.
Let me respond with a soft answer. Let me make sure that my body posture is right. And I'm giving the right body language. Because it's not just in speech, it's in actions also. Let me make sure my body posture, my actions, and my speech are all letting the situation know that I'm not going to give in to it. And I'm going to pacify, I'm going to quench the situation. That means if I have discretion, I have a wealth of options I could choose from. Because it's based upon a choice. See, a lot of people say, well, you left me no choice to talk to you a certain way. Well, no, you still have a choice.
Right.
You just don't have a lot of discretion at your disposal.
Are you looking out for this person's best interest, or is it about how you feel?
Right.
A lot of people lean on the tendency they want to feel.
Yeah.
People want to feel a certain way.
Or I want to make them feel how I feel. If I'm miserable, guess what? I want to make you miserable.
I want you to be miserable.
So I'm going to choose words that are in accordance to how I feel, so you can feel the same way.
I want to poison your perspective,
right?
Because I'm poisoned.
Yeah, because I'm contaminated.
Basically, that person is broken.
Yeah, you know what? Their discretion is broken. Their button on, they got a discretion button that don't work. They can turn it all day long, it don't work. You know what I'm saying? That discretion button don't work. They can turn the knob and it just don't do nothing.
That's true. So that's real stuff though. Like, that's how relationships fail and whatnot.
Because you know why? That means it says I had a choice, right? Stay in Ecclesiastes, go to 33 and 4. If I had a choice, I had the selection of words or options available to me. That's what happens when you have discretion. I have an option, I have a plethora of options that I could use to speak to somebody, exchange and dialogue or interact with people. I don't just have to use one tone. Do what I tell you to do because I told you to do it.
Right.
You better do what I say. I have no other means. I'm not skillful whatsoever. I'm not skillful at getting the best out of the exchange that we have with one another. How we should be engaging in our relationship. I'm not skillful. That has to be taught. It's a lot of people without skill.
But the problem is, there was skill available. There was class available. There was counsel available. There was information available. And I chose not to take heed.
Yep.
You're supposed to get discretion from a source. It comes from somebody. Like a well has water. If you don't got no water and you're thirsty, where should you go?
To the well.
To a well.
Yeah.
But a fool is a person that has water around them, and they're thirsty, and won't get the water.
Yep. Read that.
Ecclesiastes 33 and 4. Prepare what to say.
Hey, wait a minute. If I'm using discretion, that means I'm preparing what?
Prepare what to say.
I'm not just talking and acting out of emotion. I'm not one-dimensional. You got a lot of one-dimensional Israelites.
Yeah.
That only speak and act out of emotion. There's no caution. There's no sensitivity. There's no discretion applied to how they interact with each other. And they wonder why bonds are broken. Or they wonder why they're working in vain. They only got one way of doing things. It's with your emotion. But if I'm using discretion, I'm prepared. I've prepared myself. I'm careful. I know exactly how this is going. It's like playing chess. You know 2, 3, 4, 5 moves in advance. If this person moves this, I'm going to do this. These are my options. It's the same thing when you're dealing with people. I know how to get the best out of an interaction between me and my brother, me and my wife, me and my children, or whoever I'm engaging with. And that's the beauty that the Most High provides us. He gives us that discretion if you allow yourself to be taught.
Yeah.
Read on. He said, read it verse 4 again.
Prepare what to say.
Go ahead.
And so thou shalt be heard.
It said, if you prepare what to say, thou shalt be what?
Heard.
Nobody want to listen to somebody that has one-dimensional way of talking. And I'm always mad. And I'm always cussing at you. And I think I'm going to get the best out of you. I think that I'm going to get the best out of this relationship, in this exchange. And I only got one way of dealing with you. And I'm cussing at you the whole time and I'm yelling at you. If it didn't work the first time, then why am I still doing it? I'm just getting louder, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get louder.
Definition of insanity.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get louder expecting it to work. That means I got one way of dealing, and that one way has been not working for a long time, but I'm still doing it. That is insanity. He said, read that verse again one more time.
Ecclesiastes 33 and 4. Prepare what to say.
Go ahead.
And so thou shalt be heard.
Go ahead.
and bind up instruction.
But you gotta get taught on how to talk to people. You have to get taught on how to interact with people.
Wow.
You have to get taught on how to make the best out of every exchange between you and somebody else. Otherwise, you'll be by yourself and miserable.
Binding up is absorbing.
Absorbing. Binding up means I collect.
Right, collecting that.
I'm collecting different alternative ways of doing things. Because obviously I didn't take it when it was free from my parents. Because I was too busy thinking I was on a level. I didn't see the good in it, so I wasted that opportunity. I could have been learning from them. Then I got men around me, teachers, elders, pastors, teachers, tutors, and governors. I got these men around me. I'm still not learning it from them. Where you think it's supposed to come from, out the sky? You think it's supposed to fall on you? One day you're going to wake up and all your marriages and relationships are supposed to be right?
Spirit's on me, yeah.
All your friendships are tight now? Yeah, it is a spirit. It's a spirit, all right. Read on.
And bind up instruction.
And bind up what?
Instruction.
What? Go ahead.
And then make answer.
And then do what?
And then make answer.
So this is somebody that is allowing themselves to receive instruction enough on how to do something correctly to yield the best possible result. If I'm doing something and it fails all the time, like I said, if I'm on my 4th marriage and it's still and that's crumbling, then obviously I'm doing something wrong. Or I'm choosing wrong. Something is wrong. Something's not right. If I'm getting the same result out of people and interactions with everybody all the time on a regular basis, something is wrong. What's really wrong is I won't let nobody show me something. My pride is in the way. That's the problem. People's pride interfere with their development and their growth. That's why I don't got no answers. That's why they don't have no solutions. Proverbs 18:20 says what? This is how you know somebody got discretion. They make wise choices in their speech. They're careful about how they talk, how they behave. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 1.
No, verse 20.
Verse 20. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth.
It says a man's belly shall do what?
Shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth.
That means that your speech and behavior is supposed to be yielding something. It's supposed to be yielding something beneficial to you. Every time you open your mouth should be working for you. Every time you talk to people, it should be working for you. You should be eating off the fruit of your mouth. There's a lot of people starving because of their mouth. Their relationships are starving. Their job situation is starving. Because they can't keep, or their brotherhood is starving. Or their sisterhood is starving. Because they don't know how to talk to nobody. They don't know how to speak to people. And because I don't know how to talk to people, I never eat from the fruit of my mouth. Read that again.
A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruits of his mouth.
Damn, let me allow somebody to teach me on how to speak to people. How to talk to people correctly. Because that's what discretion is all about. How to be appropriate. You're supposed to be winning souls, not destroying souls. You're supposed to be gaining friendships, not running them off. Read on.
It says, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled.
And by the increase of his what?
Of his lips shall he be filled.
But that's what discreet is about. That's somebody that uses discretion. They're going to eat good. And their lifestyle's going to be good. Because they know what's appropriate. They're cautious about what they say. They prepare to speak before they speak. They don't depend on their own opinion. They get second opinion when it comes to how they judge other people.
Multiple opinions.
Get that definition of discreet one more time.
Discreet, prudent, wise in avoiding errors or evil.
Go ahead.
And in selecting the best means to accomplish a purpose.
I select the best means to accomplish a purpose.
I have multiple perspectives weighed out biblically.
You know why? Because I don't just have my way. I have my father's way of doing things, my mother's way of doing things, my uncles and aunties' ways of doing things, my brothers and sisters' way in the truth.
Yeah.
I have counselors' ways of doing things. I got tutors and governors' ways of doing things. I got teachers and elders' ways of doing things.
I'm basically just a car that goes one speed out.
Yeah,
I just go 20 miles an hour everywhere you go. I'm on the highway. It's inappropriate.
it's inappropriate.
Why are you driving this slow on the highway? No discretion.
Nope.
Now it's time to drive through a school zone. You're appropriate right here.
Only right here.
You're only good right here. You can only be used in this situation because you got one speed. I can't variate myself. I don't have the ability to variate myself because I don't regulate myself. Nor have I learned different paces and different methods.
Because I never adopted anybody else's method.
But listen, I never got to the school zone. That's great, bro. You just stay in the school zone. You only drive around those situations.
Right, because you're only good in that situation.
Yeah, you just drive through neighborhoods and you don't get on the highway and you don't even get on the access road. You just if you want to get somewhere out, we'll just wait 3 hours for you. That happened before. There's a brother before, and you know the situation.
You gotta remind me. It's been a lot of situations.
But you know it's gonna be late because he has to drive through every neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know. but had to drive. Brother he couldn't get on the highway.
Yeah.
He couldn't get on the highway. It was the ultimate
Fear factor.
Fear factor. It wasn't like a room full of cockroaches. It was the highway.
Right.
So
stick your head in a bowl of worms.
You're like, ah! He's driving down the street. Ah!
Yeah.
So what happens is he had to go through neighborhood
And we just had to wait.
and street and neighborhood and this stop sign, street, and it's
Back
like,
street after back
he'll
street.
get here when it gets here. It's cool because you can't blow him up. He's not gonna get on the highway. He can't do it.
He's one dimensional.
One dimensional. This is how we are to the Most High because we can't adapt. We can't be adjusted. Then everybody got to wait 10 years for you to figure it out. Rick got to wait 10 years. Kids got to wait 10 years. Brothers got to wait 10, 15 years.
Sometimes they don't wait. Sometimes they move on and you're on child support.
I got 10 years to wait.
Yeah. They couldn't wait. Hey,
You're
that's not knocking anybody on child support. I've been on child support.
Come on. That's a real thing.
Myself included. I'm in that same boat.
Come.
But hey, great point. Because you know why? Get that discreet one more time. Read that one more time. It's one definition I'm looking for. One part of the definition I'm looking for. Read on.
Discreet. Oh, you want me to continue?
Yeah, read from the top.
Prudent, wise in avoiding errors or evil, and in selecting the best means to accomplish a purpose. Circumspect, cautious, wary, not rash.
Stop right there. Give me the definition of rash. That's what I want. Not rash. Give me the definition of rash.
Rash, hasty in counsel
hold on.
Wow.
Somebody that is discreet is not rash. So somebody that is rash is what?
Wow.
Not discreet, but also what?
Not hasty.
Not hasty in counsel.
They're not hasty in counsel. They don't just make moves because they felt a certain way. They don't just make moves or do things or say things without clarification, without clearing through and getting counsel. Is this appropriate? They don't let anybody govern their thought process. I do what I do because I felt this way. I say what I say because I felt this way. I don't double check with anybody to ensure that my decisions are correct. I don't double check and call or make a phone call to get a second opinion. Hey, bro, you think I should do this, man? You think I should talk this way? This ain't obviously it's not working.
I'm a bold person.
Yeah, that's a person that's rash. It says hasty in counsel or what?
Or action.
They do things without counsel. They have their own governor, that's their own mind, that they let their own pride. I do what I want to do, and I don't care what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Read on.
Resolving or entering on a project or measure.
It says they're resolving or entering on a project or measure. Go ahead.
Without due deliberation.
They don't counsel with anybody regarding their actions, their attempts, their endeavors,
Decisions
their decision making.
and pursuits.
They don't run it by nobody. They don't let nobody troubleshoot their ideas.
Yeah.
They don't let nobody troubleshoot their actions. They don't let nobody come in and say, man, take a look inside my life and tell me if I'm doing something right or wrong.
That conversation is to their own emotion.
They don't do that, bro. You know what they do? They usually say a person that's not discreet. They say, I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. I've been in this situation before. I'll figure it out.
It's a bold man. Yeah.
That's somebody with no discretion. This is who the Most High doesn't work with. The Most High don't work with this one. He said pride go before destruction, and a haughty spirit before what? A fall. Most High can't work with that person, because you only got one speed. That's your thoughts. That's your opinion. You only got one speed. That's how you look at life. You don't let nobody interject and intercede and look and troubleshoot your decision making. That's the problem. Read on. It said rash, hasty in counsel or action, resolving or entering what?
On a project or measure without due deliberation.
Go ahead.
And caution.
Go ahead. And what's the result?
And thus encountering.
And what a rash person always encounters what?
Unnecessary hazard.
What does the rash person always come across?
Unnecessary problems.
They always got a problem that actually could have been avoided. They always got run-ins with the law. They got run-ins with trouble. They always got run-ins. They was running with somebody.
Got stories.
I got stories about what went wrong and what problems I had. I had a problem with this person. Yeah, because you only listen to you. This is why you have a problem with this person. Nobody else has a problem with this person. You're the only one with a problem with this person. Because you don't know how to talk to this person. You never asked, hey, how should I talk to this person? I never got counsel on how should I deal with this person. Never asked for help.
Never asked for it.
Never asked for it. So you know what? You always
I didn't seek help because I had no discretion.
Yeah, that's right. So I say, so they says, and thus encountering unnecessary what?
Hazard.
Unnecessary hazard.
Right. They're always coming across with something that doesn't work. Failure after failure. Let that go. Give it continue. Read on.
Applied to persons as a rash statesman or minister.
So this person could be a statesman or they could be a what?
A minister.
You could be a minister. That means you could be in the truth and still not have discretion. Just because you're an Israelite don't mean you have discretion. That don't mean that. You still hold on to your opinion. Read on.
A rash commander. Uttered
or you're a leader of men, but you don't know how to get. You always got unnecessary problems with, and the men don't trust you. The men don't respect you. Wonder why? Because you're hasty. Well, I don't know why these brothers don't listen to me. Because you're a rash commander. I'm going. These brothers don't want to. They ain't trying to follow my instructions. Well, you're a rash commander. You're a rash leader. You don't get advice. You don't listen to any. You only trust you. That means people even in positions of power can be guilty of this. Even as a parent, I could be guilty of this. A teacher could be guilty of this. A brother could be, a sister could be guilty of this. Just because you're in the truth don't mean you possess discretion. That doesn't mean that. Read on. Definition.
Uttered or undertaken.
Uttered.
Or undertaken.
Uttered or undertaken. Go ahead.
With too much haste.
With either I'm operating with too much haste, meaning I'm not temperate. Either I'm always angry and I'm always making decisions off anger or how I feel or what else.
Or too little reflection.
Or I make decisions and I had no self-reflection.
No, I put no thought into this.
I put no thought.
There was no thought.
No thought.
Just impulse.
Very shallow.
I just said what I said, and that's what I said.
Gut feeling, we call it.
Yeah, I trusted my gut feeling, my instinct.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Let the cards fall, where they may.
Yeah.
that's that dumb talk.
Dumb thinkers. Yeah.
Yeah, like you didn't put no thought into your decisions. You didn't think about how this could have a negative effect. Either they're extreme on one side, they're too hasty, they didn't get a second opinion on their decisions, or they just didn't think deep enough. They're not a deep thinker. They're not a critical thinker.
Basic
Ecclesiastes in the Bible says, Ecclesiastes 2:14 says what?
Ecclesiastes.
The wise man's eyes are in his head.
Where it says the wise man's eyes are where?
In his head.
So in order for me to have discretion, that means I always got to be thinking about the effect that I have on people. I gotta always be thinking about the effect that I have on in my speech and my actions. I'm conscious about it.
Yeah.
It says the wise man's eyes are in his head. Go ahead.
But the fool walketh in darkness.
But the fool walking in what?
Darkness.
Meaning they don't give a damn. They don't see the danger coming. They don't care. They're not thinking. I don't think about the effects that I have on people. How do you know that this? How do you know that these are major indicators of a rash person with no discretion? How do you know this? How do you know you're dealing with this person or dealing with these individuals? They don't think about what they say or do. Ecclesiastes chapter 27 verse 4. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27 and verse 4.
Read that.
As when one sifteth with a sieve,
It's sifted.
sifteth with a
A
sieve,
sieve is a screen. Like you panning for gold and you put it through a screen. He says one sifted the sieve. Go ahead.
the refuse remaineth.
The refuse. The refuse. The refuse remaining. That's the waste. So as you pick up mud and you shaking it side to side, the clods of mud come up. Go ahead.
So the filth of a man is his talk.
So how do you know a man don't have discretion?
No filter.
He says no. No, there's a filter, but what remains after the filter is what? Is waste.
Wow. Okay.
It's
So
refuse
waste.
or refuse. Refuge. So you say you know a man that don't have discretion based upon what? Or a woman that don't have discretion based on her what? What is a major indicator that a man or a woman lacks discretion?
Their talk.
Conversation.
Their talk. All you have to do is listen to them. You could listen to a man or a woman and it'll tell you right off the bat, this person has no damn discretion. They'll have no discretion whatsoever. Read on. And because they're saying it out of their mouth, read on.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessels.
Go ahead.
So the trial of man is in his reasoning.
And so where is that filth coming from?
Lack of reason.
Process.
Where do you reason at? Where's the
Your mind.
place of operation where you categorize all your rationale and your reasoning?
His soul.
Where's the central command?
Your mind.
It's your mind.
Right.
Your mainframe. That obviously, if somebody doesn't have discretion in their mouth, it's because they don't possess it where?
In their mind.
They don't have it in their mind. They're only gonna say what comes out their heart. Your heart is your mind. They're lacking discretion up here. That's why it's coming out in here. Read on.
The fruit declareth if the tree have been dressed.
The fruit is what should be coming and growing out of your speech.
That's true.
Your speech, your actions are supposed to be yielding fruit. Whether it's good fruit or bad fruit, it's going to yield something. But the fruit will tell you how this tree has been pruned, dressed, fed, nurtured. You know by the fruit that this is an unnurtured tree. Man, if the fruit is rotten, withered, small, or not yielding its full potential, ineffective, or never fully develops, obviously there's something wrong with the development of this tree. Look at the fruit. Meaning what? Your actions or the results of your actions is an indicator, your lifestyle, whether that be your marriage, your interactions, your jobs, or whatever it may be, everything that you do is the fruit of your labor. And the fruit tells you right off the bat, something's not growing right. This tree is lacking water. This tree is in the sun. It's getting withered in the sun. It's getting beat up. This tree doesn't have enough nutrients in the soil. Maybe there ain't enough nitrogen or iron in the soil. Something's missing in this. This damn tree need to be redone. It needs some manure on this tree.
Or it's growing crooked.
Or it's growing crooked. Something's wrong with this damn tree. This fruit ain't coming out right.
Or it's diseased. Because you can go look at the tree's bark. When you flick the bark, you can see if the tree is diseased or not by the condition of the bark.
Or it's getting eaten by termites.
You're not trimming it.
Or you're not trimming it. So it's nutrients is being stolen. Something's wrong with this tree because look at the fruit of it. That's how easy it is to tell who has discretion and who doesn't. Look at the results of the person's actions. It'll tell you right off the bat if they got discretion or not. He said the fruit does what?
Says the fruit declareth if the tree have been dressed.
Right. Dress just means nurtured. Read on.
So is the utterance of a conceit in the heart of men.
It says, so is the utterance of a what?
Of a conceit in the heart of men.
Now, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
That conceit is that my thought or my opinion, because conceits have to be something.
Yep.
It's not a question. The conceit is an opinion.
It's
a statement. So my statements and my opinions show what spirit? Spirit of conceit.
It shows my pride.
Yeah.
It shows a person's pride. That's why when you talk to people, you should be listening for discretion. When you talk to people, interact with anybody, you're supposed to be listening for discretion. You got to be listening, because you got to listen for this person's fruit. What is this person yielding? What is the fruit? Because I can hear it. Matter of fact, read that in Ecclesiastes chapter 19, verse 4.
Ecclesiastes chapter 19 and verse 4.
Read that.
He that is hasty to give credit is light-minded.
It says, he that is quick to give what?
Credit is light-minded.
That means if you're not listening to a person's discretion or listening for a person's discretion, that means you're light-minded. And you know what happens when you're light-minded? You run into a lot of trouble. That means I wasn't thorough about my choices. So then I choose a person to be with in my life. And because I was light-minded, I went off looks. I went off physique. I didn't even look for discretion. I saw chest size, waist size, height, skin tone, curls on the hair. I didn't even look for no discretion. You're supposed to be looking for discretion when you interact with people. But because I didn't look for it, now I got a problem. I got a menace. And I got a thorn in a relationship. Because I got with a person that ain't got no damn discretion. Because I wasn't looking for it. That's why it says, he that is hasty to give credit, what?
Is light-minded.
I was light-minded. I wasn't deep. I got with a person that can't put two and two together. I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this person coming. You know why you didn't see this kind of person coming? Because you don't have no damn discretion. That's why you didn't see this kind of person coming. Because you lack discretion. Now you got the reward of a person that lacks discretion. Now you got a problem. And you may have a problem child. Anyway, go back to Ecclesiastes 27 and verse 7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 27 and verse 7.
Read on.
Praise no man.
That's why you don't do what?
Praise no man.
That's why you don't give nobody no damn credit till you listen to them first. There's a lot of people out there that, hey, that's my brother. Right? Are you sure that's your brother?
You really know?
You really know this person? You listen to him talk?
He smile.
He cool, man. Oh, he cool, okay. What makes him cool?
We had some good drinks.
Yeah, Dad, I met a great guy. Oh, you met a great guy? What makes him great?
He was just
He
great.
was nice to me.
He smelled good.
He smelled good. He had these oils on.
They smelled great. And I thought he was great. That's how simple.
You know, I met a great guy. You don't know who the hell you met. Where was the discretion? How did you qualify this person? It said you was hasty to give credit.
I looked in his eyes.
Yeah.
His eyes told me everything I needed to know.
Yeah, love at first sight, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, praise no man. Read on.
Before thou hearest him speak.
That's why I said you don't praise nobody until you hear them what?
Speak.
What are you listening for when you hear people talk?
Discretion.
I'm listening for discretion, because it'll tell me who has it and who doesn't. All I gotta do is listen to it. I'm listening for it. You can talk to somebody and realize, oh wow, this person's in trouble. Or this person is off the chain.
Cool.
This person's throwed a little bit. Wow, this person got it backwards. This person ain't figured it out. This person about to learn the hard way. Because Job 34 and 3 says what? Somebody read Job 34 and 3. Hold that in Ecclesiastes 27 and 7.
Job 34 and 3. For the ear trieth words.
It says your ears are supposed to be doing what?
Trieth words.
The word try means to test.
It's true.
Your ears are supposed to be testing words. Like what?
As the mouth tasteth meat.
Like your mouth tastes meat, and you know, man, that's hamburger meat. Oh man, that's sirloin. That's filet mignon. Oh man, that's hamburger helper. Man, that's Wendy's. You know what Wendy's. You know what Wendy's tastes like. You know what that tastes like. You know, just like your mouth tastes meat, your ears are supposed to be listening to people's speech. You're not just supposed to be believing what somebody says out their mouth. You're supposed to be looking for something when you talk to people. Man, I'm analyzing, when I'm talking to people, I'm listening to see if this person has discretion or not. That's what I'm listening for. That's what I'm using to say, okay, maybe there's a possibility that me and this person could be friends. Maybe there's a possibility that me and this person could hang out. Maybe there's a possibility that this could work between me and this person. But if I'm listening, if I'm not listening for discretion, I'm in trouble. I'm about to make a lot of bad decisions and a lot of bad choices, and I'm gonna fall into a problem. That's why you should, when you engage with people, that's what you're looking for. Now let that go and read verse 7.
Verse 7.
No, please, that's 27 and 7.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27 and verse 7. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak.
Go ahead.
For this is the trial of men.
For this is what?
The trial of men.
It says this is the trial of men. This is how you know what you're dealing with. You don't know what kind of man you're dealing with or woman you're dealing with until you listen to him talk. And when you listen to him talk, you're judging to see, or you're listening for discretion. Do they know what's appropriate or inappropriate? Now go to verse 5 that you had, Adam, in verse 5.
In verse 5. But Job hath said, I am righteous.
You in 34 and 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Job 34 and verse 4. Let us choose to us judgment.
It says that's why if I'm gonna make any kind of choice, friends, relationships, people, or even what kind of person I'm gonna become, I have to choose what?
Judgment.
He said, let us choose to us judgment.
Which is the correct discernment.
Which is the correct discernment.
Let us know among ourselves what is good.
So the thing that I'm pursuing in my life, whether within myself or from people, is what's good. Which is the definition of discernment. If I'm going to pursue anything in my life, it should be the ability to make good decisions and to know what is what.
What is good.
Go ahead.
For Job has said, I am righteous.
Because that's what being righteous is about. But let that go.
About discretion.
It's about discretion. It's about making sure I'm choosing good judgment. I'm choosing good judgment. And I know what's good and bad. A lot of people don't know the difference between good and evil.
And that's crazy, but it's true.
Because they never been taught. Now go to
That's stupid, but it's true.
Go back to Wisdom of Solomon. We started this earlier in the class. Go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 verse 8. We didn't finish this.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and 8. What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us?
Now that word vaunting, we didn't finish the definition of that vaunting. Get the definition of that vaunting. We didn't get the whole definition of that. Read that. It says, what did pride profit us? What did you doing things your way, how did it benefit you? How did it benefit the people around you? Doing things your way. You got the definition of vaunting?
No,
but he got it.
or vaunting?
No, he got it.
Of a boasting nature.
Of a boasting nature, what else? Doing things my way. Go ahead. What else you got?
To boast. Go ahead.
Boast about or praise.
Go ahead.
Especially excessively.
Go ahead.
That's all I got.
Now,
sorry.
No, what you got?
To make a vain display of one's own worth or attainments.
Go ahead.
Brag.
Do you have ostentation, to talk with ostentation?
Yeah.
Oh, in the 1820s, yeah.
Yeah, read
Vainly boasting ostentatiously.
It says mainly boasting what?
Ostentatiously.
Now get that definition of ostentatious.
Ostentatious.
Oh, okay.
Making a display from vanity.
making a display. People that can't, that people that won't accept that that there's nothing wrong with their way. That means I got to put my way on display. I don't use no wisdom. I don't use no discretion. It's about how I feel. It's about me executing my plan the way I want to do things. I don't see things no other way. The only thing that I see as beautiful is my opinion. That's the only thing that I put on that's attractive. Is my way of doing it.
Self-commendation.
Self what?
Self-commendation.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna commend myself.
I'm gonna commend myself. What else you got?
Outward show or appearance.
Go ahead.
Ambitious display. Vain show. Display of anything dictated by vanity or intended to invite praise or flattery.
So I don't, it's about me. This is a person that cares more about their own opinion than they do about the opinions of others, or they care about the opinions of the Most High. And that's what people put on display. These type of people is the people that you stay away from. People that are ostentatious. They don't care about doing things the right way. They only care about satisfying themselves.
Their will.
And that's why. And now to finish this class, go to we're in Ecclesiastes chapter 27. Read verse 12.
Ecclesiasticus. Oh, you got
27.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27, verse 12. If thou be among, if thou be among the indiscreet.
So if I'm
Indiscreet meaning lacking.
Yep.
Discreet, not discreet like not I'm indiscreet. No, I don't have this quality. I have a deficit or a lack of this certain skill.
Go ahead.
If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time.
Man, you better keep a stopwatch on you.
Right.
You better keep a clock on you. Like when you're around a person with no discretion, you better monitor the time. That means make sure that you don't be around the indiscreet for a long period of time. Now, I want to get one. This is a medical. This is a medical definition.
Medical definition.
Yeah, I just want to get this one of what's possible, right? Let me get this real quick. I want to get a medical definition of what's possible if you're not monitoring your time around people that have no discretion. Now, this is a medical definition, and it says, in shared psychotic disorder, the delusion arises in the context of a close relationship with another person. What they're saying is, you can pick up somebody else's delusion. Right. It says, in shared psychotic disorder, the delusions arise in the context of a close relationship with another person, or identical in form to the delusions of that other person, and diminish or disappear when the individual with shared psychotic disorder is separated from the individual with the primary psychotic disorder.
Wow.
What does that mean? Somebody break that down.
It's you spend too much time with a person, eventually they're gonna come like you, or you're gonna be like them.
Absolutely, that's what it means.
That's the scripture. Let's two come together.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Spirits jump like frogs.
Spirits jump like frogs. Same thing. That means that if I'm around a person with disabilities, I don't want to say disabilities or issues, disorders, that means it's only a matter of time before I start sharing their perspective.
Yeah.
And I start looking at life the way they look at life.
Start being defiled, right?
Yeah, I'm being contaminated by it.
Right.
That's why it's now read that again. Now we understand that that's a real medical issue.
Or like the person that always got something going on with someone else.
That's why they say successful people put themselves around who? Successful people. Because I want to be successful. I put myself around the people I want to be like. But when I hang around with knuckleheads, I become what? I become a knucklehead. When I hang around degenerates and thugs, I become as a degenerate or a thug or whatever it may be. I got the same mindset. If I'm around dudes that like to hit licks, rob, rape, I will become one of them over time. Meaning, it's only a matter of time before they assimilate to my way of doing things, or I'm going to start doing what they. That's why people say, "Man, I don't smoke weed. I could be around them all day." Well, you got to be careful. You better master yourself first, because you know what? It's only a matter of time before they, hey man, try this, man. Hit that, man.
Or you're around those guys.
Yeah.
Those sensual guys.
Sensual guys. You know what them sensual guys are.
Those sensual guys, like I don't have a problem with it. I just, I don't do it.
Yeah,
but,
that's not for me though. We just hang out. We just go out
hang
together.
out. We just talk.
They're
We're
cool
good
guys.
friends.
They're cool guys.
I have a good time around them.
Yeah.
They
They're
don't
cool
bother
guys.
me.
They're cool guys, man.
They don't come at me.
They don't. Yeah, I could be around them all day. I don't have a problem with it.
Because that's how much of a man I really am.
Right.
I could be around them. It don't affect me.
Yeah. That's what people say. But
I'm
psychologically.
not homophobic, so I
Right.
can hang out with them and they don't affect me.
Right. But that's people's thought process. That's people's thought process. That's why the scripture says what? When you're around certain individuals that lack discretion, read it again.
I need decoration advice and this clothing advice.
Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus 27:12. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time.
They say you better watch the time.
Yeah.
When you're around people that don't have no discretion, make sure you're not around them too long, because they will start rubbing off on you.
Look at the time.
Man, mighty have time.
Time sure is flying. I gotta.
Yeah.
That speech.
I got some stuff to do, man.
Their speeches and how they position their mouth
gotta get
is
some
convincing
snow.
over time.
It is. It's contaminating. Read on.
But be continually among men of understanding.
But if you're gonna put yourself around somebody, you should always want to be around who?
Men of understanding.
Men of understanding. Because you're only gonna adopt the habits and the mentality of the people you choose to be around.
So you're saying that I like to say I don't follow nobody. I'm my own boss. But you're subject to somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna subject yourself to somebody that's in the negative,
Yep.
or somebody in the scripture.
Or I'll start developing that mentality. I'll start developing that I'm my own boss too, because I'm hanging around with somebody that says they're their own boss.
So you really weren't your own boss. You was
That-
following.
I was following, and I became identical in thought, and that's that disorder that we were just reading about. I become identical in thought to the people that I hang around.
So that's the disease. That's the disease of a follower.
Yeah.
Around negative people.
Or just an influence. I'm an influenced person, being around a person that has a strong influence.
Okay.
That strong, whether it's an individual, whether it's a prideful person, whether it's an arrogant person, a conceited person, or a person with no discretion, a person that's rash, I'm gonna start picking up their attributes.
Wow.
Read on.
The discourse of fools is irksome.
And that's why that's why you want to get out of there. You want to get out of there because you don't want to hear all that. Read on.
And their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
Right. That's all they care about is flesh. Read on. Fulfilling the flesh. Read on.
The talk of him that sweareth much maketh the hair stand upright.
Go ahead.
And their brawls make one stop his ears.
Yeah. That's you don't want to hear that. Read on.
The strife of the proud is bloodshedding, and their revelings are grievous to the ear.
Go ahead. That's it.
Yeah.
It said their strife of the proud is bloodshed. All they talk about is what they gonna do.
Violence.
I'm
gonna do you bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna get over on somebody. The nature and the substance
They're
of their
threatening
talk,
in temperament.
conversation. The temperament, the nature of it, the substance of the conversation is polluted. They don't got no discretion. That's like having a woman that you met. She's fair, like we read that fair woman with the jewel in her nose, like a swine with a jewel. A fair woman like a swine with a jewel in his nose.
Yeah.
That's like having a good-looking woman that you can't take nowhere.
Like Cardi B.
Yeah,
she looks great. You can't open her mouth.
You know what I'm saying?
You talk crazy, she'll embarrass you.
You got a fair-looking woman that you in public, she digging in her nose.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? She picking boogers and eating them. You like, damn, you really gonna just eat that right there? Like,
you with her, bro?
Yeah, like I got a napkin like right here. Like I got a napkin.
God.
Or she picking wedgies out of crack. And you like, damn, you really gonna do that in public? Or you can't take it to your parents' house. You be like, your dad be like, man, what a good choice. Then she open her mouth, and then your mom be like, You need to get that help out of
Go ahead. She just give you that look.
Yeah, you probably like, you're not staying for dinner, are you? Yeah, you got somewhere to go, right? Why don't you take that junk back with that alley cat back where you found her? But she's a great woman. She don't got no discretion. She coming in this house, cussing up a storm. She don't got no discretion. She's not welcome in my house because she lacks discretion. That's the way it should be. Or that young man that you got, you call your buddy, your friend, he's not allowed in my house because he don't have no discretion. He's rude. He come in with bringing some ill spirit, some bloodshed and foul talk into my house. You know what I'm saying? Don't got no respect. Got his pants hanging down. Don't bring that little boy in my house no more. You're not allowed to associate with those individuals. That's what you got to do with everything in life. You got to know people got to know what's appropriate and inappropriate. And the Most High lifts up those that knows discretion, that has discretion. And that's why the Most High lifted up Joseph. Because even though he was without a father and he was without a mother, he never let go of his discretion. And the Most High raised him right back up. Are there any questions? All right, with that, we're going to say shalom, the water for coming to class, and we'll catch you again on Friday. All right, Majin will point the walk down, rise and face the east. Yahweh Shemel Shai,
Yahweh Shemel Shai,
Abanawa, Sabashamayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazah Ka, Hayah, Aisha, Ratazah, Hayah, Washamayim, Tananawa, Lacham, Ko, Yawam, Wasalachna, Hawafna, Wasalachna, Wathina, Wala'ah, Tabinawa, Wanasa Abo, Hawashana, Hayan, Ryan, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwan, Wa'ala, Watapara, Lawalamim, Aman, four corners.
Help! Bashum! Yo shot! Rockin' out! Support! Help! Bashum! Yo shot! Rockin' out! Support! Help! Bashum! Yo shot! Rockin' out! Support! Help! Bashum! Yo shot! Rockin' out! Support!
Rocket Yahweh, Rocket Yahweh Shah, the Wadi Yahweh, Wadi Yahweh Shah, all love, all mercy, all truth, all wisdom, all knowledge, all understanding, all power is from Yahweh, all power is from Yahweh, all power is from Yahweh. Yahweh Shah's name we pray, the water, from Yad, Aman. Men circle up. Sisters have a seat.
Saluting out in the heavenly order, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, OK Yasha'ala, men of Israel, and Mantra, Ra,
Yahweh Shemel Shai, Rakdam,
Kumishah, Yamatat, turn and face the sisters. Saluting out the daughters of Zion, men of Israel, and Mantra, Ra,
Yahweh Shemel Shai.
Yashimata, dismissed. Hold up. We can get all the Josephus, all the books. I got it.
I didn't calling on Facebook.
It's 21, 18.
I didn't get that. I mean, you could have pulled it.
Well, you were going through the points pretty quick, so I want to slow you down.
I think everybody has something they want to get. Everybody had their hands going up.
Well, that was kind of good. And I had a preset for the rounds. 27.
4, I think. We wouldn't get on top of the rock. Oh, in the power rock.
Yeah, it was 17. The irksome.
Yeah, 27.
27,
Like 15.
Right. Yeah, the 27 and 32. This was his irksome, the sport one to the sin. And it was.
Man, I didn't have time to go back to the house to change. So I was like.